Bring us your sweet blood, your warm flesh. We are cold, cold, cold beyond endurance. Come closer. Come closer.
Look at you, sweating and shivering like a child on the night of the eye. Did I bear a coward for a son? By my queen, if I did, I'll feed you to Chemosh myself.
Mother.
Don't call me mother. You are no son of mine. My son is not a coward. I walked that dread grove, and here you stand, thinking of turning tail and running.
I will not!
Steel, it's me.
Where have you been, Monsieur?
Trying to catch up with you, Brightblade. You ran off so fast, and it's going to take both of us to get through that cursed grove. If we make it at all.
Warm blood, sweet flesh, come to us, come.
Blessed Paladine. Look, dear gods, it's coming straight for us. We have to fight.
My father won't hurt us. 2 guides, Chrysanians.
You promised on your honor to enter this cursed place.
I so promise, father.
Est Solaris of Mythos.
I understand, father.
Do you know what he means?
My honor is my life. I will not shame my mother. I will not fail my father. We will enter the grove now.
Pre-recorded in a second-floor guest room filled with tall ales and taller tales. Join a group of grown men intent on discussing the intricacies of fantasy and science fiction. Tim Gilbert Media presents
Dungeons and Dweebs!
I like the battle axe. Got it right to the back of her rod.
Hello, all you fans of chiseled gray gems, bubbling chaos, and silver surfers? This is the Dungeons and Dweebs podcast, episode 42, Dragonlance, Dragons of Summer Flame, part 1. I'm your host, Bob, and have we got a story for you tonight? A story about a little girl who was raised among a close-knit, isolated community of outcasts with a strong and charismatic religious leader. Until one day, with black armored troopers threatening to destroy the community's continued autonomy, the girl is asked to leave her home, only to discover the truth of both her parentage and of the wider world, while her community is left to suffer a fiery death. No, this isn't an expose of David Koresh and the Branch Davidians. This is the story of Usha and the Erden.
Either that or the opening of Rogue One.
Yeah, well. But can parallels be drawn between the KOT and the ATF? We shall see. We shall see. But I'm not alone. Across the table from me, his gray gems have been cracked open so many times that it isn't chaos that spills out anymore. It's Luke.
What the hell's that supposed to be? Oh, we're finally back. It's been one heck of a autumn twilight.
Yes, summer flame and deep autumn.
Yes. The summer and fall of the Lance 3. Oops, sorry guys.
What can you do?
Anyway, we're back here on a Sunday evening just to try and get an episode up for you guys. But let's not dilly-dally here. We got a lot to get through. Across the table from me, it's Uncle Klab.
Greetings, my renegades, rebels, and rogues. The great spinning ball of ours is again forcing us in the northern hemisphere into cooler temperatures and shorter periods of daylight. The darkness continues to encroach more and more, eating away that sweet, life-affirming light of that closest star. Don't get me wrong, your old Uncle Klab enjoys autumn in the great north woods. There is something about a lass in a flannel tights holding a hot toddy whilst decked out in her best sexy Han Solo vest and boots. If you're from the Midwest, you know exactly what I mean. Yeah. A hint of blaze orange and or pink camouflage still sets this old buck to rut. Across the table from me.
I guess we all got our own thing.
If that's what you're into, man, all right.
Across the table from me. He spent the last month trying to figure out the formula for a pumpkin spice cologne to make the Visco girls swoon. He'll be sitting in a field with that kid with the blanket here soon. The Jason Todd to my Dick Grayson, the Columbus to my Tallahassee. Paul, how are you this chilly fall evening?
I'm doing fantastic. I almost have that formula down. Just a little bit more, and I've got it.
You're running out of time, dude.
I know.
Almost
I know.
over.
Just that little bit more. I could make so much money off of that. Oh, it's great to be back. We're back here with the Dragonlance books again.
Yes, finishing out our trilogy, our summer trilogy.
Our summer. Yeah. Oops.
with one of the books that people have been saying, right, to like wait around for this one to get through second generation, wait for Summer Flame, it'll all be better. Everything will knit together.
I did hold my action at the end of that book, so I guess we'll see if it pays off here.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into this.
Well, all right, the waitress is coming here. I got us a couple of hot toddies, fill our bellies, make us a little warm on this chilly evening, and warm us up for Dragons of Summer Flame. Come over here, sweetheart.
I was in a relationship
I swear to you,
with
man.
a draconian
Woman with the blue
woman.
dragon, she brought me up to her room
Boy,
last
did
night.
she have good
Where's my
time.
corn purse?
Why don't you fellas follow me into my
plastic
couch?
tender.
I'll show you how my glory is good.
What'll it be, boys?
Tavern talk.
Well, here we are around the fires of the Inn of the Last Home, drinking our hot toddies. I like to watch as the sparks fly up through the leaves, their veins standing out against the bright autumn moon, much like Fizban's veins stand out in his gray, papery skin as he reads from the discs of Mashiko.
That was not an image I wanted to see in my head.
That is not.
Come here, boys. Why don't you sit by the fire with me? I'm Fizban. I'll be reading from the discs of Mashiko tonight.
No, thank you, Fizban. Can I leave now? No.
But this is Tavern Talk, that portion of the show where we go around quickly to share some things that happen in our. Now it's been like nerd 5 months, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So a little bit.
A little bit.
We'll try to keep it short. Get to some of the comments, things like that
Sure.
that we've gotten throughout the days.
So, Luke, how has your nerd month and a half been?
Busy. That's why we haven't been here.
There's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
You were on a little bit of a trip.
A little bit of a trip. Went out to Vegas.
Nice.
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that up. I would have totally just glossed over that. I happened to be in Vegas and was able to go to The Void, which is something we talked about before.
Love the void.
Which was actually created by son of the author of this book, Tracy
Right.
Hickman's son.
Seriously?
Yep.
It's dead serious.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's how I heard about it. I can't remember. Somebody had tweeted something like, "Hey, at Tracy Hickman's son."
I believe we may have talked about this
Yes.
when you went the last time, and it was Star Wars.
Yes. So honestly, my original plan was to go there and do the Star Wars one again, or just see what other one was going on. We went there and they said they had Star Wars and then Ghostbusters, and I'm like, well, I'd rather do Star Wars again. They're like, but hey, on Friday we're opening up our Marvel Avengers one.
Oh, wow.
So I looked at my brother-in-law and said, we're coming back on Friday.
I don't care what
So
we
we booked our slot there. Went in there. It is, if you are anywhere near any of the Void locations. I know we got one here in Minnesota down at the Mall of America.
Right. Yep.
There's one in Las Vegas.
There's like 10 or 15 now scattered around.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few, but it's that I would highly recommend. The Star Wars one is great. The Avengers one is better. Because you get to pilot this stripped down Iron Man suit, and you get the Iron Man HUD up in your face.
Super cool.
And they got like the legitimate like actors to do the voices. It was insane.
That's really cool.
I got to sit there and Doctor Strange talk to me. I'm not gonna spoil anything that goes on because that's half the fun of going through those. But yeah, got through that. Quick Netflix recommendation: Another Life on Netflix. Out of this world, awesome sci-fi series. I mostly want everybody to go and watch it just so that there is a second season, just for me personally, please. Because the first season ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, but it's got the chick who played Starbuck in the newer
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica.
Great show.
So yeah, she's on there. She's back in space doing stuff. That's really cool. It kind of takes you on this like very interesting ride through a lot of sci-fi tropes in a very good way.
Right. I thought you were going to throw up.
I was trying not to burp, and then I realized I'm the only one talking. But anyway, hey, that's what I had going on. I'm also kind of up loading our YouTube channel up with stuff right now. You can't see any of it. It's going to be releasing over time here. Just more of our older episodes, probably more of our intros and stuff. So keep an eye out there. Chuck us a subscribe if you would. Please. People are subscribing even though we're not posting stuff, which blows my mind.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Anyway, that's all I've been up to. Klab, how about yourself?
Well, I tell you, this time of year it gets so busy with work and everything. I've just been doing a lot of couch time with the dog.
Wait. What?
Watching TV.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been through this. Remember this?
Watching Mar and I really like Mayans. Mayans' second season is rolling right now, and again, it's not nearly as good as Sons of Anarchy was, but Sons of Anarchy was so groundbreaking at the time. I've also started watching, and this is so cheesy, this has become my guilty pleasure right now. I've also started watching DC's Legends of Tomorrow from the beginning, and it's campy and it's weird. But it's kind of fun. And I kept looking at the guy who plays Rip Hunter, who plays the lead guy. And I'm like, where do I know him? And then I kept thinking, oh my God, well this is very similar to Doctor Who. We get in a ship, we get in a ship and we go through time. Well, the guy who plays Rip Hunter is Arthur Darvill, who played Rory on Doctor Who.
Oh my God.
And so now he's got his own ship that he's traveling through time with superheroes.
He's just salty he doesn't get to be the Doctor.
But does it turn into a police box?
No, it's a full size It's a full size flight machine.
Okay, no police box.
No, it's the same size on the inside. But
there's the problem.
But it's kind of a campy little guilty pleasure that I've been enjoying. I'm almost done with the first season now. There's like 4 or 5 seasons out there. So, and it's kind of fun to look at some of whether it's Doom Patrol or a lot of those other ones. I kind of like to look at some of those lesser known characters. From both DC and Marvel Comics, because it's Rip Hunter for one, White Canary, Firestorm, Captain Cold, and Heatwave.
Cool. A lot of nobody I know.
Yeah. Captain Cold and Heatwave are actually the brothers from Prison Break.
Yep. See, I tried watching
the actors.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I tried watching that show. I couldn't get past the first episode. First episode or two, I'm just like, no, I can't.
You got to just kind of roll with it and accept it for the cheese. That
it is way too cheesy.
The other thing I wanted to say too is I did go out last week and see Zombieland Double Tap.
Oh, was that good?
Oh, I've heard good things.
It's fun. Again, same thing as I was talking about with Mayans. Kind of when you do those sequels, it's when the first one is such a different thing than what you've seen before.
Right.
The second one is never completely adds up, but it's a fun little romp with Woody Harrelson and Steve Jobs, not Steve Jobs.
He's back from the dead.
You're thinking of he played Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network. His name is not Billie Eilish. That's a girl.
Bad Lex Luthor.
Yeah, bad Lex Luthor.
So it's fun. You just get to kind of watch a bunch of stuff blow up and watch people shoot.
Jesse Eisman.
Yes. Eisenberg.
Heisenberg.
H-bomb, sugar rape, John the King.
I know. Again, it's late. It's Sunday. We're all tired. That's pretty much what I got. What I've had going on. You're Paul. Wow.
It's been a long time. He went blank.
Yeah.
He went blank.
The pause and just reload.
I mean, I'd say Paul and I legitimately just got done playing D&D for like 5 hours.
Yeah,
it's true.
So my brain is completely gone.
Roll D20.
Shit, come on.
Initiative check.
No. So I have been reading, now that I've finished this Summer Flame, I moved on to another fantasy book. It is I guess it would be classified as fantasy. The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski, and I had to look up how to say his name because he's that Polish writer who they based the Witcher games off of.
Oh, The Witcher.
Yeah, and I was The Witcher. Yeah, they're great.
Witcher? I hardly know her. Sorry.
Boo. They are great books. If you like playing the Witcher video games, I would highly recommend reading the books. They're dark, just like the video game is.
Right, dark fantasy.
It's fantastic. They're all short stories, somewhat
An
connected.
anthology.
Yeah, somewhat connected together, and it just kind of shows you the world. I did have to look up.
I can show you the world.
Is it as good as Dragonlance Second Generation?
Yes.
Okay.
If not better.
Wow. High praise.
I do really like
you
these
sure?
books.
Are you sure that's high praise?
It'll all come together if you watch the game. All these threads.
No, you don't even need that. I will say, look up how to read the books because I think The Last Wish came out after the first book that came out.
So, okay.
You have to look up which order to read them in.
How do I read a book?
How does one read?
This is all in words.
So I would highly recommend The Last Wish. That's one I'm starting with. Bob, what about you?
Well, I have been continuing to read a lot of comics and like hitting things that I never read before or like holes that I missed. So I just got done reading the entire run of Thor by Walter Simonson from the mid to late 80s. A lot of characters he introduced that I knew of, like Beta Ray Bill and things like that. But
What?
yeah,
Beta Ray Bill?
You don't know Beta Ray Bill?
No.
Okay, so
He lives down the street.
Beta Ray Bill got the Thor powers for a while.
just think of Thor with a Velociraptor head.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not really. It's not Velociraptor.
That helps.
Yeah.
In Ragnarok, on the outside of the stadium, the heads that are on the outside of the stadium in Ragnarok, he's one of them.
in there.
Oh, like the champion heads?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's some pretty cool stuff. I had gotten the action figure because for a while it was like a completist action figure of the Legends line. And so I'd get stuff that I was like, I don't know. And everybody was going nuts, like, they're making a Beta Ray Bill. And I'm like,
who is Beta Ray Bill? Why do you care?
Yeah, why is there a Thor with a like a dead fleshy horse head on it named Beta Ray Bill? What a dumb name. But his
He looks so dumb in the animated series.
Oh, yeah, he does.
So, but I have nothing but high praise for Walter Simonson. The stuff that he did, kind of really meshing Nordic mythology in with Thor. It's one of my favorite runs, I think, of
Thor?
Thor for sure,
Okay.
I would say. If not one of my favorite runs of most of the Marvel comics that I've read. Because we were talking about this, Paul, about how maybe not all of the runs on Marvel comics that we've read do we love or stick with us.
Yeah, to be completely honest, Marvel comics I can't read. I can't read them anymore. They're just too interwoven between you have to read this one, then you need to read this one, then that one from that other series is related to. I'm like, no.
Case in point, huge disappointment. Juxtaposed with the Thor and how wonderful it was. I had gotten the new Infinity Omnibus, which I'm going to warn people, if you're out there as a listener and you collect any kind of omnibus or are thinking on buying it, I really wanted to get a nice oversized version of the Infinity Gauntlet run, which this new Infinity Omnibus has. It has all of the issues, which is great. But afterwards, it's followed up by kind of a new series. I couldn't make heads or tails of it. There's like a whole new invasion that's coming in.
Yeah.
They just like cut and spliced it out of this entire other run of the New Avengers, and you needed everything else around it to really grasp what's going on. There was so many characters, so many people were dying, and I didn't even know.
You didn't know or care because there's just way too much crap.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
It was actually one of the most frenetic, disjointed things I've ever tried to read, and I plowed through the whole thing. I'm talking like 800 pages.
That's because you're a completionist.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you
like,
have to
I
finish
will
the book
get
no
to
matter how
the
terrible
end
it
of
is.
this. I don't know why there's no Infinity Gauntlet in it. I don't know why it's in this thing called Infinity, but I was not happy with that, I guess, at all. But the actual omnibus that reprints all of the Infinity stuff has been out of print for a long time and is way too expensive. So, but that's about it. I'm with you, Klab. Zombie stuff, this is the time of the year for that. So I've been going old school. I've been watching the Evil Dead stuff, and then I went back and I watched Return of the Living Dead. God, is that one fun? It's crap, and I love it. So if you like Evil Dead, Paul, you were saying 85.
85? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it's
Is
really
that the one
good.
with the rock music in the cemetery?
Yes.
Coming out?
Yes.
Oh,
and the one girl is like sitting there like practically, she's naked the whole time.
Yes.
And she's just like, do you ever fantasize about a group of old men surrounding you and eating your body?
No.
Not really. That's
Now you will.
Yeah, it's like there's a group called the Suicide Gang or whatever. It's if you like Evil Dead, it's fantastic. Just
Corny horror.
know what you're getting into. Yeah, it's slapsticky, crazy, but at the same time, some stuff is really. Some of the effects are fantastic. Some are just awful. But I would highly suggest watching it. But we've got some feedback, Luke. A few things that we were going to bring up, maybe a couple things. Number one, I got to throw it out to Neil. Neil has been keeping things alive on our Facebook page single-handedly as he's throwing out his Deeper Delves every Friday. Thank you, Neil. But he threw out a book that I love this series, The Rune Lords. I don't know when we'll ever get to this, but I think we should at some time. But I'm telling you, Justin throwing out information left and right here.
Justin, you are a fountain of information. I don't know how you store all of that.
Why can't we just Skype him in and he can just be on the show?
There we go.
But anyway, in fact, I just posted 5 minutes ago a picture of us recording the intro, and he was the first, like literally within, I think, a minute of posting it. He gave us a thumbs up, so thank you, Justin. I'm sure he's angry that this hasn't come out yet. But The Rune Lords by David Farland, and what I did not know is David Farland and another author, Dave Wolverton, are the same people.
Really?
Yeah, and Dave Wolverton is a guy that I know best from The Courtship of Princess Leia, which was a very famous Star Wars book from the mid-late 90s when those were being cranked out. So, and I love The Courtship of Princess Leia. It was like the witches of Dathomir riding on Rancors. Awesome stuff. At least I thought it was awesome. I think maybe next year we should revisit the Princess of...
and see if you actually like it now?
Yeah, is it really that great? I do know that Han Solo wins a planet in a card game, and I thought that was stupid.
No, that's awesome.
Dathomir. He wins Dathomir.
I want a planet in a card game. That'd be the best way to earn a planet.
I remember just being furious at Leia that whole book. It's like, your boy just won an entire planet for you, and she's fallen for some other prince guy. Prince Isildur or something.
Damn it, Leia.
Yeah, and I was pissed at Leia the entire book.
How old were you when you read that book?
I was probably 16 and probably going through women troubles of my own and was probably just projecting. Is probably what was going on.
And now we know Bob's friend stole one of his girlfriends.
I was in the middle of losing a girl, and now I'm reading about Leia. Like, oh, you don't like Han Solo?
Yeah, what the heck, Leia?
Saved your butt how many times? And won you a planet? But, Prince Isildur. Oh, man. It was about as tough as reading the Prince Shizor stuff.
You could just start saying that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
We need to get you schooled. Pierce Brown, you had thrown this up, Luke. He said, Dear Howlers, certain happenings are underway, a culmination of years of secret labor which delayed Dark Age. It will either mean sweet victory or ignominious defeat. What do you think's going on? Series or movie?
Series.
Television.
Television series like HBO, probably.
Which is, I think, the only way to do it right. I would not want a movie.
That was actually, if you go look at we have one video that has north of 2,000 views on it on YouTube. For some reason, actually, it's pretty cool.
Isn't it like the part 2?
Yeah.
It's the death of somebody, isn't it?
No, it's
Jackal.
Reaper and Jackal.
And Jackal.
Part 2 of Red Rising, the first book.
Where he gets stabbed in the hand.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I've gotten into some pretty in-depth conversation with people that I have no idea who they are about, hey, this is going to be a movie, and then, like, what had happened to the movie where, like, they're going to try to make Severo a girl for some reason, and then, like, they end up scrapping the entire thing, and all of us are like, well, thank God. But then there were talks of the last thing anybody knew is that Pierce Brown was working on a TV show.
Nice.
Right.
So, and I'm assuming that's what he's talking about in that tweet.
Hopefully.
I would love to see it. I would love to see that transferred to a visual medium.
I definitely feel like it would have to be either HBO, Netflix series. It couldn't be one of those, I don't know. I feel like it has to be a hard R.
A series.
Like, or in a series.
Oh, you mean
It has to be graphic enough.
It can't be Disney.
Oh, God,
no.
it
can't be Disney.
God,
if Disney is producing it,
And just for Andrew.
Yeah. Tim Gilbert sends his regards. Yeah, hey, that guy's not real. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Should we expose this? Should we tell him about Tim Gilbert, or should we just leave it up to?
Shut up, Tim Gilbert is too real.
He is too real.
Tim Gilbert is real.
He's everywhere and he is nowhere. He is an enigma.
He's part of the Illuminati spiderweb that we're attached to.
He's currently trapped in the Grey Gem somewhere.
Or he's our sugar daddy and he's paying for all this.
Yeah.
I wish.
There you go.
that'd be nice.
Hey, speaking of gray gems, we should probably crack this gem
Yeah,
open.
we should probably get into the book now.
Yeah, let's
All right,
do it.
I'm gonna have another hot toddy. You guys get whatever you want. Hey, make this one a little stiffer for me, will you, please? I'm in a rut.
We got press.
Ooh, tell me more.
It's a DeLorean, isn't it?
Scales were always in my favor.
I might have driven a DeLorean here.
Aye, pull up a chair, friend.
All right. So here we are. Dragons of Summer Flame. This summer. Anyway, yeah.
Sunday.
All right, yeah, so here we are. We part one of our review of Dragons of Summer Flame.
Yeah.
Books 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Hey, and guess what we find out in chapter 1? Hey, we're right back to chapter headings that ruin the chapters.
Oh, you're stealing my thunder. I was going to talk about that.
Sorry. Oh, we still have to do the summary, don't we, Bob? Do you have a summary?
I do. And by the way, I stole this summary because I have not finished the book yet. I think there's two of us at the table who have not finished the book.
Yes, I have not.
When we have not, I read through the first part we're reviewing today, and I was like putting on the brakes. I'm like, I forget too quick. I am not going to read the second half until after we got the first one in the bag.
And then it took us forever to get to record the first half. And
well, you were traveling, and then I was super sick. We were going to record last week.
Yeah,
then I was
totally lost
I had
your voice.
no voice.
You sounded like death.
Yep. So now we're here, and so
It's no podcast with the guy with no voice.
Yeah, and so I did
where
not.
our main dude has no voice.
I did not know how the end of this went, so I was scrapping together for a summary. Like, did someone summarize this anywhere? I couldn't find it. There's nothing anywhere except for going old school, way back to like 1998. This page was established, and still looks like it was built in 1998. By the way, but. Warren Dunn, I don't know if you're a listener, I don't know if you know Warren Dunn, but he's been like reviewing sci-fi fantasy novels for a long time.
Well, he had to take a whole break there in the 90s to go travel around with his buddy Brooks.
Yeah, his Warren, also known a.k.a. Kix.
Yes.
Or no, it's Kix Brooks.
It's Kix Brooks and
Ronnie Dunn.
Ronnie Dunn.
Ronnie Dunn. Nobody even cares. Okay.
But we're giving him credit legally.
Yeah, that's true, because I don't want to get into trouble. Okay, so Dragonlance, Dragons of Summer Flame, November 1995, TSR Publishing by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss.
Yeah.
The world has changed. Once again, the people of Ansalon expect peace to last forever. Tanis warned the Knights of Solamnia that there were even more dangerous knights allied with darkness, but with honor, and that they would attack when the time was ripe. But the good knights ignored his warning, and so when it came to fight, it was the evil knights who had the advantage. 2 brothers are killed in the fight with the Knights of Takesis, and Palin was, well, I guess we'll say captured. As ransom, the evil ones want the wizards to open the portal to the abyss so that the Dark Queen can enter. Steel Brightblade, the subject of a terrific short story in the 2nd generation, son of Sturm and Kitiara, which makes him Palin's cousin, owes Tanis a debt, so he takes Palin back to his kin. Burying Caramon and Tika's children, Palin and Steel then make their way to Palanthus, hoping to gain access to the portal where Raistlin entered from so many years ago. They enter the tower through the graces of their gods and of Raistlin's spirit, and Palin and Tasselhoff get to enter the abyss. There they eavesdrop on a council of gods. It turns out that Chaos, father of the gods, is loose and very angry. He wages war on the world and plans to destroy all the gods begot. In other words, everything. He calls for shadow demons of all sorts and things that the world has never seen. The only way to defeat him is to gather all of the peoples of Ansalon together in an alliance. And there is no way that old racial hatreds can do this. So they yield to Takesis, whose knights already control most of the world, and they have all of their troops surrender to her knights, who are, interestingly, honor-bound. Palin and Tass re-enter the world with Raistlin to warn the others. The council and the gods reach decisions of their own and find a way that might defeat Chaos. Through the rift that Chaos created in the world, the remaining Knights of Takesis and Solamnia ride their dragons. Palin uses a spell to hold Chaos at bay, distracting him, and Steel slices the god with his sword. It is all in vain, however, because the drop of blood that they draw splatters across the floor of the abyss, unusable. I can't. Tasselhoff. Oh, stop your ears if you haven't read beyond the first part. Tasselhoff gets an honorable death. Oh, there's no reaction from the table. At least a death worthy of a Kinder who would only expect a most interesting way to go about it. He gets stepped on by a Chaos Giant. I'm not looking forward. Not looking forward to this. Luke's leaving.
Yeah, I forgot that's
being flattened must have interested him immensely. But before he dies, he stabs Chaos in the toe, drawing the blood that they need. I can't believe I'm reading this. Usha captures the blood in the Grey Gem, and this gives the gods power over to chaos. God's power over Chaos. It is blackmail in a way, but they all agree to make up and leave if Chaos stops his destruction. For even though they have captured his essence, I don't know how this is done with only a single drop of blood, they apparently don't have complete control over him. And the book ends with no magic left in the world, at least none that the people have access to. The gods have left, and there is only a single star visible in the heavens, which is made from the fire that Flint and Tass stoke while telling stories back and forth, watching over the world.
So Tass and Flint are gods.
So there's no stars in the sky except for one that's the fire of Tass?
Part two. Save it for part two.
Okay, part two sounds like it's going to be just... We are going to have a time.
So technically the sun is a star, so that means the sun's gone and everybody dies.
And there's just the sun left, which is the fire that Tass would make, probably.
And I can't believe this guy's summary mentions nothing about the other deaths in the second half.
No, he says nothing about other deaths, but please don't elucidate, because I don't know who dies yet.
Same.
Please be Tanis. Okay. All right.
Can't wait till you get there. Okay, so that's a summary.
That is the summary. Hey, book one, let's get started off. Chapter one, we are back, like you said, Klab, to headings on chapters that tell you exactly what's going on in the chapter.
Yeah, hey, you know what's really great about an audiobook is that you can't skip over that.
But you can't unsee it either.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, you know what? And of course, you really, if you wanted to, and you wanted just a quick read, just go through the book and read the chapter headings.
Yeah.
Just look at the table of contents and just kind of, hey, well, we're done.
So we're at chapter one, the landing party, the prophecy, and then unexpected encounter.
Hey, guys, I think that they're going to land on a beach. There's going to be some prophecy.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some people that they weren't expecting to see.
This is...
I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
This is like D-Day landing soft. There's just like a couple guys standing on a beach like, hey.
To be fair, I did like the opening. It was very
very
atmospheric, very getting you back into the world.
I agree. In fact, this whole opening stuff, as these Knights of Takhisis are going to be taking over territory, I am loving this. This is the first time that I feel like they have, Margaret Weiss and Tracy Aikman have developed a credible threat from an outside force. These Knights of Takhisis feel like they are organized. They're using dragons, and we get a lot from them, and wizards in concert. They feel like a very tangible threat.
It's a threat, and we get to know the threat a little bit. It's not just you hear Tanis and them saying, these people are bad. You get to hear about, where their ideas come from. And I know there was a comment about, hey, once they get to this Summer of Lance, can knights be honorable? And I think this book shows that they can be. I remember one of our listeners commented that, and I think this book definitely shows.
Right.
Knights can have honor even if they're evil.
And I'm gonna say that this feels to me, again, you look at Nazi Germany as sometimes a lot of good analogs for a giant invasion of peaceful peoples, right, by a real awful terror. But I think sometimes you can think of like the SS as not being honorable, whereas then sometimes you would look at somebody like, some people would say Erwin Rommel, might have been like
Rommel.
Yeah, would have been an honorable adversary to Patton and things like that. So this idea of a truly bad person fighting on the evil side, but yet can maintain honor and dignity, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I like how this sets you up for the twist.
Yeah.
Right away here, because our two unnamed knights here land on the beach, and they're scouting around and they're looking for different things. So they're looking at which lands they're going to take over, which islands. So they come to this island, and we also get these weird barbarian people that are their foot soldiers.
Giants. They're and they're blue. Aren't they painted blue?
They're painted blue. They don't need armor because they have magical blue paint.
Which is they're basically giant Hyborians. They're
The Navi.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. The Navi. Yeah. They are the Navi. I'm going to see them as the Navi from now on. I was going with kilted Celtic peoples, but I'm going to go with Navi.
I just went with standard D&D barbarians.
Yeah.
That's what they were.
Yeah.
They just found a tribe and go die.
And so on this island, they find that nobody's on this island except this race of 8 people.
Mud people.
Right. Yeah,
mud people.
And so basically they leave for this invasion that Ariakin has planned, which we met in the last book. So chapter 2...
Hold on, did they talk about why they were there? Didn't they say that they had been given a vision or something saying that we have to check this island out to see if it's a threat against us?
It's been a month and a half, I don't know.
It's all part of the vision. The island is the island.
Oh, the master plan.
The master plan
that they're always given. Yeah,
because the vision was right.
The master plan.
Yeah,
they're island hopping, and this is one that they think they need. But
even though it's behind them, that's the big thing. Is it's behind them. That's why the Urda went there. Was they figured nobody was going to bother showing up. Any of that because it's way behind everybody. But
the Urda have been here for generations.
Well, let's find out about the Urda, shall we? Chapter 2. We'll find out. This is a magical isle. An urgent meeting and the decider. So it turns out these beastmen that we thought were all subhuman are actually the Urda living in isolation with this person called the decider and the protector, right? Who are seem to be their two councils. One's the leader, right? One's kind of, I guess, the general type of person.
I think it's just they go against each other. I think that's kind of what it is. They had two people that were constantly arguing, and they're like, all right, you're going to be this one, you're going to be the other one, and we'll kind of decide who's following what.
Well, and even though they're living in such isolation from each other and from everybody else, they still need a form of government. You still need you still need a form to make some of the overall decisions.
And then we have this very thinly veiled thing with Usha. We are introduced to Usha, the girl who is small and 20 and ugly. It's super thinly veiled that she is actually ugly, I think.
Yes. I'm because she's going to get off this island and she's going to be beautiful.
Like a bunch of Neanderthals going you don't have a proud sloping brow like I do. You're an ugly person,
Well, and everything we found out...
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
You don't have an underbite that way I do, Usha.
Well, and everything we found out about the Irda race as a whole is they are so exceptionally beautiful. They're supernaturally beautiful.
Oh, yes.
And she's just beautiful.
Oh, yeah. They were able to get Raceland to get it up.
Yeah.
Which, that's pretty...
Fair enough.
Which good.
I want to briefly talk about how the Decider is picked. I found this hilarious. The Decider is the most just middle-of-the-ground person ever.
Yeah.
They have no... It's one of those where it's like...
It's a leader with no agenda.
Yeah.
It's a leader with no agenda.
Who's only there for the people.
But it's not even a leader who wanted to be a leader. It's somebody who's just literally in the middle of everything. He's not the smartest.
You
he's
just
not
go
the
grab
dumbest,
you grab an accountant from one of the
I feel like an accountant would be too smart. They would be like, "Oh, you're too smart. We got to find somebody else."
Somebody who dyes fabrics.
But he's a good
fabric dyer.
I see, Paul. I like that idea.
I do too.
Though, because he is therefore going to make his decisions as the decider as the quote unquote average, as your person who is the smartest. People aren't always the best at understanding what the non-smart people are. The non-smart people aren't going to be best at figure out the smart people.
Yeah, but I want a smart person who is going to.
He's not dumb. He's just average.
Well, and I'm thrown off for a while here because these guys have the gray gem. And I've been kind of like, well, how did the gray gem get here? We just got done reading the prequel.
Magic.
That was that had just given us where the gray gem had been. I'm like, well, why isn't this connected? We do get kind of a connection later on as to how the gray gem ended up getting here.
Yeah.
But yeah, right away, I'm kind of going like, well, how did these guys get the gray gem? Maybe nothing in that last book mattered at all. That's how they tie it up.
I really don't think that it does, because they talk about how it's all rumors, just different stories that are based off of something. So I think everything
which is
a
wonderful get out of jail free card.
Yes, it is. I think everything
can say
from
whatever
those,
I want.
Yeah, everything from those books can be used, but it doesn't have to be.
But
used.
I know if Star Wars would have done that from the beginning, we wouldn't have had to rebooted the EU.
You don't have to reboot the EU.
But I don't
they
think-
haven't in my mind.
But I don't,
Exactly.
I don't think there's anything in here that eventually, when we go through all the explanations of everything by the end of the book, I don't think there's anything in here that is really off the mark from the tales.
No,
there's,
not really.
there's some of it. There's a couple of them.
Well, I think
There's
great
one
jump
major
thing's
one.
coming. Well, just say it. What do we got?
What? That Ursa's not Raceland's kid.
Usha,
whatever.
But
her
is
name
she? But is she?
No, she's not.
But is she?
No.
Why do
Well,
you
now
Why do you
I'm
believe anything Raceland says?
Because it's Raceland.
Why do you believe? Why wouldn't he lie?
I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. Now this is
happening wild. I shouldn't have asked.
Yeah, you shouldn't have asked for it. I tried not to, but I don't think
That doesn't mean there's not another one bouncing around somewhere.
maybe there is.
no,
but
I do know about this. Flashback to one of our first episodes. I listened to that one podcast with
they were
Margaret
talking about
Weiss,
this?
and there's a thing about Raceland's daughter, and I think we'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
Anyways,
I remember what Margaret said about.
We have Usha, who was the orphan girl here being raised,
Right.
and she's got gold eyes.
Yeah. But they're going to kick her out of the community because
Those gold eyes. You can't keep anybody with gold
Yeah.
eyes around. You got to get rid of them.
Well,
They have the gray gem trapped, and for whatever reason, the Usha aren't. The Usha as a race, Irda, excuse me. The Irda aren't affected by the chaos in the gray gem, and that's why they can have it there.
But they think that it's
affected.
affecting Usha or will affect Usha, and they're like, you need to get out of here.
Well, and all this other stuff's coming in. And
You're
they know,
ugly, and this
They know
gem is affecting you.
They know the bad stuff. I think you took too harsh a read on that.
What's that?
She was sent away by the Protector, by her adopted father, to rescue her because they were going to futz with the Grey Gem.
I agree with that.
He wanted her to survive in case they futzed wrong
No,
with the Grey Gem.
I'm overplaying it. Don't worry. The Protector loves Usha. You can tell that they have. They really.
It's a father-daughter relationship.
Yes. So I'm definitely overplaying.
Even though they're all like mildly Vulcan. With no emotions.
They are Vulcan.
Yeah, they're Vulcan. They have some emotions. Prot is like Spock. When Spock finally gets a little bit of emotions in there.
Mm-hmm. But Spock's half human. No, anyways.
Well, he's actually half human.
Exactly.
I forgot he has his human side.
Exactly. And we do go through this whole thing on whether or not, on how much Irda Usha has. Whether she had throughout the whole book.
Right.
How much Irda she has, whether she's half, whether she's maybe was just dropped off on the
island. So it's
like
blood quanta.
Yeah.
Outmoded, outdated.
And this kind of pushes us through into chapters 3 and 12 or 3 and 12.
Well, that's a huge jump.
We do need to move, so let's go.
This pushes us into 3 and 4. Where yes, Bob, like you said, they're going to send her away because they're going to do some magical stuff with the Grey Gem, and they don't want her around affecting it.
Yeah.
And the Protector also realizes that we might just blow ourselves up, so I'm going to send my daughter away.
So let's get rid of her. Let's get through 3 and 4. She gets into her boat, and
her magical moving boat.
Can we?
I want a boat like that.
Hold on. I want to make sure that we cover the bodies on the
floor.
On the beach, or is that in book 2?
That's later. When we find out who died?
Yeah.
That's later.
Okay.
That's way later.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah, because it was after the long,
this isn't
the long crappy chapter.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to be such a long book.
Yeah. Okay, so chapter 4, this is, I think, when we get the first, like, huge download.
Letter to Dalamon.
So Prot has given her this, like, scroll. And doesn't he tell her, like, not to read this later?
Read it when you're on the boat. I think it's read it once you're leaving.
Well, no wonder, because it's got to keep her, like, busy. I don't know how long she's on this boat.
I know. I thought about that, too.
But where is it? This scroll must have been, like,
I'm pretty sure
a backpack size.
This one chapter on the audiobook took over an hour.
Oh.
Yeah. This...
I zoned out so hard.
So I'm of two minds about this. We get a huge dumping about Paladine and Gillian and Takesis and
there's some
Grey
dump,
Gems,
all right.
the creation of the world, and like I'd say more, but I'm in free speech jail right now. So we get this huge history of the world. Man, in some ways I needed it because I forget from book to book sometimes what the mythos is. Yep. And so I need a refresher. This is a great refresher. But this would make or break readers. Like if you picked this book up just because it had a cool cover, and you would have to be some sort of
you do need
rock star
you do need to
this.
set up chaos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You need to set him up, but I don't know if this is the way you do it.
Oof.
I will say, a lot of the time while I was reading this, I had the music from the Ocarina of Time when they were first introducing the gods to create the Triforce going.
Cool as hell.
While I was reading about the gods, I'm just kind of like, oh, hey, this is a flashback to a video game. I know,
yeah.
But
they should have peppered this in some way. Like, I feel that there's ways of streamlining this into a narrative of a book that doesn't feel so top heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the stereotypical kind of nerd material that turns people off to this kind of book, where it's just world building on top of world building.
And see, I didn't have that, and again, I was doing the audiobook on this one. This didn't bother me at all.
I skimmed it.
I think I think though, having somebody tell you it, tell you the story is going to be much different than just.
Well, it's like you were sitting in church and you kind of drifted away, and then you came back, and then you drifted again, and then you came back.
No, I will wholeheartedly admit, like there were parts that I was like, I'm pretty sure I know this. I'm just gonna. Hey, next.
Did you say you did the audiobook club?
Yes.
I'd be on the other side. I'm with these guys still, even though I'm doing the audiobook.
Oh, see, this didn't bother me at all. Yeah.
Oh, it was just like, well, I think
That's
it was.
You were like probably walking your dog or something, so you could be doing something while you're.
It was a couple.
I was running actually.
Okay.
It was a couple of times where like I'd like, oh hey, I got a minute, I'll put the book on, and then I turn it off, and then I come back, and I turn it on, I'm like, I'm still in this freaking chapter. Like, oh my god!
What I think the problem for me is not that it's too long necessarily. I could be into it if it was really cool, because I can read Norse mythology and Celtic mythology books on top of itself. I'm sorry, this is not cool to me. The Legend of the Grey Gem is kind of farcical to me. It's kind of stupid to me. I guess I'm trying to hedge my words.
I disagree.
I
respectfully disagree.
Tell me why this is cool. I hate this Grey Gem stuff.
See, the only problem I had here with how long this was and how long this freaking letter was I'm like, when are we gonna? This is a Dragonlance book. When are we gonna get to our main characters?
True. Yeah. I'm waiting for that.
I don't mind the Grey Gem. I did not need as in depth of a mythology.
I agree with you. Once it starts going, when they chip it and the whole thing, chaos comes out.
No, I mean I just like chaos.
It's cool.
What the Grey Gem does.
Right.
But I don't. Yeah, I didn't really.
The story leading up to it, I thought was a little hammy. I don't know if I love this method of creating the races and stuff. I don't know. I didn't. There's something about it that's off-putting to me, and I can't put my thumb on it. I don't know what it is.
I understand it. I'll jump back to the other side now.
You have to pick a side and stick with it. You can't flip.
No, he can waffle.
This is America.
Bill Clinton can waffle. Luke can waffle.
Please don't.
What is your definition of waffle?
Oh, I'm not supposed to talk. I'm in free speech jail.
You're not in free
speech jail. What?
Because he's afraid of the comments. I'm not.
I am not afraid of the
They've
comments.
hated me since we started this podcast.
I am not to bring up and Thummum ever again.
Oh.
Now you said it.
Ah, dang it.
Anyway. What I can appreciate from this is like the creation of the universe and the races is like something that I bet is taken like so it can be taken so seriously, and then just I guess it is farcical. You are correct that you know what, some of y'all were made on accident. Sorry.
Yeah. Right.
Like you know the gods in this universe aren't perfect.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm. And I did like what we got about the magic moon lords. I don't know if they have titles. Are they demigods or lesser gods?
They are the
gods of magic.
They are the kids of Takesis. They're Takesis' kids, I think.
So
how the heck do I have that random crap shoved in?
Solari, Illuminati, and oh crap! God!
Nuatari, Solinari.
We have cars. That show.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh! But that's what.
Yeah.
The chapter was too long, but the content I'm kind of okay with. Yeah. It needed to be streamlined.
And to be very honest, we're already done with book one. When
Basically.
they finish with that letter, she lands and all right, book one's done.
No, we still have the Altar of the Grey Gem chapter 4.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. The dwarf arrives late, cracking open the stone. Well, I don't have to read the chapter to know the stone's getting cracked open. There's not going to be any tension in this chapter as to whether or not that stone's opening. So, but I really like this chapter. The Decider opens the gem using a chisel driven into one of the flaws in the gem. And all of this is really cool. And I think that's what I'm not liking about the history. The history to me is not as cool as then what happens here. Like this chaos is not...
Chaos comes out and kills everybody.
His history is not fitting to how cool he is
when
he comes out. But to me, this is Galactus. He just comes out and he is just Galactus boiling out.
Well, and poor Reorx never...
And he's going to be the
sorry, I was
Silver
in the
Surfer.
middle. Sorry, guys. I was in the middle of a game. What do we do? No, oh Christ! You cracked it open. Didn't you?
Yeah,
right. Hey, you can't be doing that.
Right. But I like this because he boils out of this thing, burns everything, kills all the Urda, squishes things. I guess we're going to get more of this stepping on thing that he does.
And that just goes to show the Urda have always been there to make mistakes. They made one mistake, turned into ogres. They make another. They just get burnt to death.
They end the universe.
They end the universe.
They try to end the universe.
Oops.
Yep.
And and Reorx becomes his herald, and you have these pictures of Reorx in your head. You're just going, oh my god.
I want Reorx riding a silver surfboard. That's what I want.
You're the image editor.
That's gotta happen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Get on
that's
pages
happen.
and get to work.
I needed some ideas. Give me ideas. I need ideas.
Get on your pages and Reorx as a Silver Surfer.
And we have we do have the little drop here of Usha who's in the boat away, and all of a sudden there's a big boom and a bright light, and she's like, "Oh, it must have worked."
Yeah,
you're driving away from a nuclear blast.
I mean,
mushroom cloud going up over the island.
She's not wrong.
Wow, the Grey Gem. I wish I was there.
Everything's gonna be okay.
You're right, Paul. It did work.
It worked. They opened it all right.
Yep.
And
they have a god out to help. Chaos is.
They released a god. Crap.
Ugh. Yeah. So book 2, like you said, that was a quick one. We're on to book 2, chapter 1.
Chapter 4 lasted forever. So.
The honor dead, a single prisoner, a fated meeting. So this is the beachhead you were talking about, Luke.
Yeah.
In Thorbard Bay. I love all of this stuff.
Yes.
This stuff is so good. The Knights of Takhisis, again, I would like even more fleshed out about them because I think these are really good bads. Mm-hmm. I think the Knights of Takhisis are far more organized and threatening than any of the last invasion of Takhisis.
It has everything you want. It has your barbarians. It has the Knights with honor. It also, you can even throw in the Draconians. It has those Draconians in there even.
Right, but they're organized.
It's an organization.
They have this, Ariakan has them, they're very specifically island hopping or whatever they're doing here, taking, specific targets that will allow them to take other targets. Like, it is very menacing. And what's even better is we've set up the world of Kryn not really knowing any of this invasion is happening, which makes it only better. It's all coming as a surprise. We know how bad they are.
A competent enemy.
A competent enemy and an unwary, people.
Hey,
Kryn.
no,
It's
wait, hey, we had the Battle of the Lands 20 years ago. Everything's cool now, still. It's all good.
That's my one problem is these people should be really wary. So, but I mean, if they're getting word from people like Tanis and others that there is Knights of Takhisis dressed in black coming, you think there'd be a little bit more. I mean, you're only 20 years out from this war.
Yeah, they didn't.
That is not that long.
But at the same time,
hey, you know what? Us over here in Elfland, we have our own problems.
This is World War I to World War II, though, ignoring Nazi Germany.
Yeah. I mean, they did send out a feeler. That's what these troops were all on, was just to kind of go check out the coast, go check it out, see what.
Kryn magazine is going to make Ariakan the man of the year. They're going to all go over there for the Kryn Olympics.
So anyway, this book.
One of the Minotaur runners is going to win.
Is that Jesse Owens?
This book. What's that noise?
It's a Minotaur running for first.
The Minotaur would just kill the other runners.
Ariakan standing up in his press box. What's going on?
How do you put spikes on a Minotaur?
Steel was supposed to win. He's the fastest.
So this book starts. And I'm keeping a very open mind. I have a rough time with that chapter with the letter to Dalamar.
Where the scroll is literally rolling around the bottom, like it's unrolling all around the little boat.
It's all soggy.
It's coming over the side of the edge of the boat. Some of it's still back on the island. This is the biggest
I'm having a rough time there.
Leave Usha alone!
I'm having a rough time there. They crack open the Grey Gem. I'm starting to have a better time. All that celestial crap goes on. Even better time. We get into book 2, chapter 1. People actually die.
Loving it.
Who are these authors?
Yeah.
And what are they doing to Margaret and Tracy?
And just the absolute, both Nazi and Star Wars stormtrooper feel that these guys have is just the organization, the lack of emotion, but having the honor and having, and going through, and this military group that just ran over the poor Knights of Solamnia after poor Tannen and Sturm just got their... They were just inducted into the Knights officially.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
We find out there's this white mage that they captured. Of course, we all know it's going to be Palin right away. Or I guess I knew it was going to be Palin.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be Palin.
They dragged Palin up, and he's Palin. And
he pales.
He is Tannis's kid. Somebody has to cry.
He's not Tannis's kid.
Caramon's kid.
Yeah, there was no crying. That's why.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But
he's a man.
Tannis's kids would have wept.
They have him go through he has to go through the bodies, so he goes through the bodies because they're going to actually give the dead Knights of Solamnia
they're going to honor
soldiers
them.
a proper burial.
Yeah, they're going to give them the honor that they deserve.
And so Palin's going through naming everybody, and he flips over the last 2 sheets, and there's Tannen and Sturm.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And this was sad for me.
It was very sad.
It was a little abrupt. I figured it was going to to be a fake out. I didn't figure that they'd actually be there.
But what I appreciate,
I knew as soon as they've dragged him in, I was his
or like they're not, because it's Dragonlance and people don't die. They're gonna be like dragging him back on the sled back home, and then they'll be like, "Hey, Palin, you ready?" And then they're gonna jump steel or something. Like it's gonna be something dumb like that.
However, I give Margaret and Tracy credit here for something we've ragged on these books a lot about. Is a lot of times we end up with these parties that have way too many characters in them to keep track of.
They knew they had to cut people out. So
it was a brutal way to cut somebody, to cut these 2 characters out. But it again makes us realize that with Next Generation, the focus for the Next Generation on the good side really is going to be Palin.
And I love my time with these 2, but really when you look at the overarch of even second gen, those were the 2 that needed to go.
Yeah,
they had the least interesting going on.
And it gives,
they could have gone off to the Knights of Solamnia and never heard from again.
They're
we wouldn't really
almost
care.
The same character too.
Yeah, right.
And it gives Palin it gives Palin a little bit of a backstory here too, instead of just being the young white magician, the young white magician.
Right.
Now he's got white robed magician. Now he has some. His brothers are dead. He has motivation. We have some motivation.
Well,
I think that was the word I was trying to.
I'm more impressed here with.
I could tell you're starting
with Steel. I like how Steel reacts to. I mean, Steel is in a lot of ways very understanding of what Palin is going through at this time. Again, where we have this very kind of noble enemy in a lot of ways.
Steel shows that the Knights of Takhisis understand that when death comes, especially with other people, there will be different emotions, things like that, and they want to honor their dead however
Yes. So
however the parties would like.
I feel that sometimes an enemy that is bound by honor also is more threatening, because in some ways you don't know when they might strike, because you feel they're going to be honor bound, or they're going to conduct themselves in a certain way, and then sometimes they can sideswipe you.
And if you dishonor them, you might not know that you dishonored them until all of a sudden they go, well, screw you, and stab you through the gut.
And also we have the aspect here too of one of the problems that I have a lot of times when you have bad guys and you have bad guys who have armies.
Yes.
Why the hell is anybody following these people? Or your army is just full of cutthroats and brutes and psychotic people. Yep. No, you actually feel the understanding from these Knights of Takhisis why some of these people would join.
Oh yeah,
Same reason
which
why
is
people
what you
would
need.
join the Empire. They wanted the structure.
Well, I was going to say that actually this feels very much, as we're coming back here, this feels like the difference between Vader and the Emperor and what we read about with Thrawn and his kind of reemergence of the Empire back in the books last year, right? Is that this feels very much more like Thrawn, more of a measured and an honorable way of conducting the Empire, the army of Takhisis.
They do classify themselves as evil, especially in this book, but I think in the Star Wars book they didn't consider themselves evil so much. They just thought we need order.
We're bringing order to the universe. Yeah.
Here, they do classify them as, well, kind of
They don't
evil.
necessarily classify that they worship a dark god.
Yeah. But see, this goes back to what we've been talking about before, is so dark mages and white mages kind of coexisting and stuff. This is a weird universe where, you can say, I follow a dark god and I'm going to bring order to Kryn and Takhisis' wishes,
Yeah, so we roll into chapter 2 here. The cousins meet, realize they're cousins.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, your dad and my mom are brother and sister. Okay, then we get Lilith. This. Kill him. We kill Palin.
Yep.
And she throughout the
this is where the real evil
resides. We do meet up with her later too, and she's just in the second half.
Nuts.
In the second half, we do meet up with her.
We met her before though.
She was in second gen.
Year,
Second gen. That's when she held her claw right underneath the throat of steel when they.
No, that was not Lilith.
That was not Lilith.
No, that was the High Priestess.
That's the High Priestess.
The High Priestess and Lilith are two different. Lilith is the gray mage.
Slept with Adam in the Garden of Eden before Eve, right?
And then before
that's a different one.
second gen.
Am I in free speech jail about Adam and Eve?
No. You're not in free speech jail.
I just didn't have anything funny to come back from it.
But no, she's a Night Lord. She is one of the she's the head of the gray wizard.
And before
order.
that, she was the head of the Black Order.
Yes.
Yeah, so we met her last summer.
Oh, was she the head of the Black Order? I didn't know that.
She just
mushed up.
No, she's had a vision, and part of her, and not part of her the vision. She's just had another vision.
Her own vision.
Her own vision. Kill him. She's basically looked into the future and said that Palin's going to f this up for all of us. We need to kill him right now. But
now I got to edit this.
But Steel appeals. Steel appeals. Steel says, "Hey,
I was gonna say he'll never.
Let me go see if I can get a ransom for him, because that's the honorable thing to do.
Right.
Plus, these are my cousins. Let's let them have a burial at home because I owe their dad and I owe Tanis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. And Lilith doesn't want to let them go. She's like, no.
Lilith is just, if you let them go, you've royally f***ed us all over.
Yeah.
There's another one.
There it goes.
So it's one of those where I like Lilith because she does add a lot of the darker side to the Knights of Takhisis and just to that evil bat.
I like Lilith because she's actually being smart here. She's like, if these two go off together, they'll just destroy each other.
Yeah, more than likely.
I think.
Okay, fine. They can go, but the ransom is the abyss has to be.
I don't know because I don't think she trusts Steel. And
she still doesn't.
Yeah, because he wears the elf bauble.
Yeah. And why would you? You were following Takhisis. Why are you wearing the elf bauble?
Yeah.
She calls it the elf bauble.
I know. Yeah. So I kind of like that there's these layers happening also within this.
Yeah. So finally she relents, lets them go off on their mission.
No, I don't think she had a choice.
She didn't because Ariakan.
Yeah, Ariakas was like, yeah, they can go, or his talent leader.
We'll see if they can open up that portal to the abyss.
Yeah, that whole thing, huh?
And I was trying to be all high-minded here by being like, I'm interested to see if this Lilith will have echoes of the Talmudic or Sumerian Lilith.
Nope.
I'm still waiting, so I'm halfway through the book. It's not back yet, so probably not.
Okay, those two names do not ring a bell.
Lilith,
Sumerian?
oh come on, Lilith Fair and everything. It's all related back to what I was saying about Lilith being the first person to sleep with Adam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's coming back to me.
We won't get into it. Maybe it will come back. We'll see. Chapter 3, the city of Palanthas.
Hey, where do you guys think we're going to end up in chapter 3?
Perhaps the city
Solace.
of Palanthas.
Solace. We're going to Solace, guys.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to be a little tired from their weary search.
But it won't be fruitless. So, jeez. Usha enters the harbor. I actually like this.
This harbor beautifully written. Her entering the harbor This is beautifully written here. You can see the harbor.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see her little ragtag boat coming
Going
into the
underneath
harbor.
as like there's like the Minotaur that's like yelling at her and everything. And anytime I get some Minotaur action, I like it because I actually like Minotaurs.
Well, hey,
Shut up.
everybody has their thing they
Well,
like.
she's catcalled by Minotaurs.
Well, yeah.
It's like she's going under like the Minotaurs that are on the boat, and they're like, "Hey, we're just getting into port too. Can I get into port with you?"
So what kind of chick would be into a Minotaur?
Maybe a Minotaur chick? Are there chick Minotaurs?
Well, if they're
there are.
calling Usha, they obviously think they can score with like a kind of
You
quasi-human.
really think even the humans that catcall other humans think it's gonna work?
I don't know. I think they think it's like
In all
a
my years of
50%
construction and catcalling,
it never worked for you.
No, it didn't work for us.
That's because you were out in the middle of nowhere, calling the cows.
Cat calling like as a boat went across a lake. We're building a
Bob's just
cabin.
Bob's just confused. He's up on the scaffolding going,
Want me to bang your heart? Jeez.
I do. I agree that this was a fun little time
liked it.
entering, and then her walking around the city was fun too.
And I love when she gets on the dock and like the dock master comes on and is like, "You can't park there."
Yeah.
What am I supposed to? You have to pay to park here. What pay?
money
What's
is what?
money?
What's money? I need something worthwhile. And he gives her she gives him like this big ass ruby, and he's like, "You want me to wash it for you too?"
Oh yeah. All of a sudden, he becomes way nicer when all of a sudden. Oh well, there's like my 4 years of wages right here.
Yeah, you pretty
Is
much
this money?
I feel like it's like Smurfette just entering like the.
What do you mean? I got Smurf berries.
Money
Is mayonnaise
just
money?
out of the mushroom dwelling commune.
As she walks into the fair, I do like the fish out of water here. It's a little overdone, but
I don't
do
mind
like
it. I like it.
It's
I like
fun.
Walks into
It's
the
a
fair,
fun
she just,
chapter.
everybody must be having dinner, so she grabs a loaf of bread and starts walking away.
Ma'am.
Must be a potluck.
Yep. Well, and then doesn't she grab an apple?
Yep.
Or something here because this
Apple
is where
and bread.
yeah, apple and bread because this is where I start seeing like, oh, is there something gonna happen here where they're alluding to Snow White or something like that because she grabs a apple and then she faint and then when she wakes up she's surrounded by
I was going with the
little
whole.
people.
I was going.
Yeah.
I was going with the whole Eve thing.
Oh yeah,
More than
oh
Snow
with the
White,
with the apple.
This is her introduction. This is her apple of knowledge.
Welcome to hell.
So we've been with Lilith, and Lilith is with Steel Adam first, and then we're gonna end up with okay, never mind. We'll go there. Okay.
Don't ever say steal Adam again. Chapter 4. I love your note here, Bob. Chapter 4. Assault. Arrested. Tasselhoff is surprised.
Thanks, chapter title.
Spoiled it that Tass is in here.
Hey, she got arrested in the last one, so she's going to be in jail. Hey, what's in jail? Kinder are in jail.
They're in jail, yeah. Which I like that. I just wish it wouldn't have been spoiled in the chapter title.
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. But they bring Usha to jail. She mentions Dalamar.
I'm here to see Dalamar. Oh yeah, bring up the guy everybody's afraid of and is a dark wizard. Good idea.
It might work. It kind of works for her, doesn't it?
It does a little bit.
I mean, the
but-
pucker factor gets them going a little bit. It's like, when they truly begin to believe that she might actually be there for Dalamar. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's definitely a pucker factor. There's kind of a I don't like this.
Yeah.
Oh crap! We better fight. We better figure this out because if we don't, Dalamar. If we don't actually check into this, Dalamar's gonna, and it turns out it's true. Dalamar's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Dalamar's going to
You don't
kill
want
us.
that.
No. No.
So she gets thrown in, passes out.
Talks with the kinder when
because
she wakes up.
that's what everybody does that's what everybody does. I feel is they pass out.
No,
Yeah.
that's just when you're really drunk.
Yeah. That's what a blonde-haired, yellow-eyed lady does when she's confronted with a
prison.
Yeah,
Well,
prison.
and-
She faints.
Well, it's a good time bump too.
Yeah.
There were talks of how she used to cry to
Yes.
get what she wanted.
Yeah, so she's a little spoiled.
Yeah, a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
And if you look at the painting of her on the cover on the backside, I mean, she's kind of like wearing these, like, I don't know, some sort of bubbly trousers. What, MC Hammer. She's got MC Hammer pants.
She got parachute pants on.
Yeah, she got them parachutes on.
And very deep cleavage.
Yeah, there's some very deep bleeding there.
So
I have to examine that.
I'm not beautiful. Ooh, she's got a squeeze box she wears on her chest. Thelma comes home, he never gets no rest.
So she wakes up. She wakes up and who's sitting there? It's Old Man Tasselhoff.
Yay!
Yep, still hasn't lost his wanderlust.
I have to admit, and I talked about this in second gen, on how much I really did like Old Man Caramon.
Yes.
I was kind of just annoyed by Old Man Tasselhoff.
Because
the whole rest of the book.
Tasselhoff, besides the arc that he's made in the first trilogy, doesn't have an arc anymore. It's like, well, you need Tasselhoff to still be the kinder that's stealing things, so they gave him a small arc where he kind of comes through and kind of has a little bit not kinderish feelings, but then he's got to be 60 and still in jail stealing stuff.
He's got to be 60 and he's, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you look like this. Da 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 da.
Yeah. Like by the time you're 60, this would be annoying. Like,
yeah.
Imagine Tass around a fire with you, telling. Oh man. But
well, I haven't. It's been 20 years and I haven't seen my husband, so I just really, I really need to go and do stuff and steal things.
Yeah. And is it Tasselhoff that drops the word addlepated? Because I have never, in all of my fantasy readings, read the word addlepated. I mean, I know, is it Twitter-pated is from Bambi.
Yeah.
And I've heard of addlepated, but I've never read it in an actual book. And I'm pretty sure this has to be Marge. Marge had to have dropped.
That sounds like something Marge would do. I can't see Tracy.
But way to go. I feel like everybody right now should take a shot for addlepated. If it appears again in the book, we take another one.
To addlepated.
To addlepated. Oh, wait. Double fists.
Oh, there you go.
Oh. Well, and Bob, you mentioned the Snow White vibe that you were getting when she was in the courtyard at the fair. I think definitely in here, there was an apple earlier. She's fallen asleep now. She wakes up surrounded by little people.
Yeah, right. That's what I feel. Luckily, nobody's kissing her. Little chunks of apple aren't falling from her mouth.
Yeah, so we get to know, Tasselhoff talks to her. Hey, you have eyes like this guy I used to know. You must be his daughter.
Yep. Yeah. Solid logic there, Tass.
Yep. Okay. The golden eyes. I remember this. Yeah.
Sounds like Tass's logic.
But he does point out that she does not have the hourglass eyes.
Yeah.
She just has gold eyes. And this gets into a whole weird... If she is Raceland's daughter, just gets into a whole weird, like... How is that in your... Evidently the eyes that he got after his test are now ingrained into his genetic code in order for him to transfer him to her.
I like that idea that the magic was so powerful it could do that.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, but also, Paul, you have glasses. Are you Klab's son?
Hey, I do call him Dad every once in a while when I'm trying to get him to buy me dinner.
Gold eyes. That's a pretty strong. That's a definite genetic link.
Yeah,
when it's gold eyes.
Yeah. Well, and the whole thing that I thought too was
they're wearing the same glasses.
You mentioned the magic. I went back to the old '90s What If comics where there was a What If thing where Spider-Man got the Captain Universe powers, and so he ended up losing his other powers, but he transferred the Captain America powers to his daughter.
Ooh. And I went to when the outer...
So when she was born, she came out with like these sparkly Captain Universe eyes that were just creepy as shit.
And I went to when the old outer god Yog-Sothoth was giving it to the old Lavinia Watley. Creating Wilbur Watley.
Solid reference, Bob.
Wilbur.
How Lovecraftian of you.
Hey, Halloween coming up.
Yeah,
obviously nobody at this table's read that yet.
No.
Chapter 5, The Sorceress. Mistress Jenna is surprised.
Oh my.
Oh my.
So yeah, Jenna, she shows up. She's her pissy self.
I like Mistress Jenna.
Honestly, so do I.
She's really good because if we really talked about her, she owns like a magic shop on the outskirts of the city, but she's the significant other of Dalamar.
Ooh.
And she's pretty cool. She's a red mage, right?
She's the head of the red mages.
Yeah, head of the red robes. So I really like her. There's something just kind of hot about Mistress Jenna.
Oh, Dalamar wouldn't take somebody that wasn't.
No,
really.
yeah.
No, and evidently she's into guys with holes in their chest.
Yeah, like oozing, never closing, oozing, 5 wounds in your chest.
Is he always wearing a shirt when they're doing it?
Yeah, you might.
Probably.
That or must like have a bandage over it because that'd just be weird.
I feel like
all of a sudden you're oozing.
It's a black satin shirt that's kind of got the puffy ruffle.
Jeez.
Well, I know what Bob's going to be thinking about tonight.
It's the black version.
Call me Dalamar.
It's the black version of the Seinfeld shirt.
Yes, it's the puffy shirt for sure. Chapter 6.
So she comes in, gets Usha and Tasselhoff out of prison, takes them to her shop.
Yeah, the
That's
Tower
the
of
gist of
High,
it,
the Tower of High Sorcery, a dinner party. Dalamar is unpleasantly surprised.
Those back to back? That's ridiculous. Oh my god!
But I like this magic shop. I love how Taz is just running around trying to grab everything, and doesn't she put like handcuffs on him, like kind of bamfs, like some sort of restraint on him?
Well, there's spells on everything so that the kids like Kender can't take them.
Yeah,
so he keeps taking stuff, and then it magically gets back up. It's magically back on the shelf.
Keeps falling out of his pockets.
But I think she binds his hands or something with some sort of magic spell eventually.
She does something eventually just to stop him from doing that because I don't know if there's a spell on him. I think she has to be like no. No.
But she makes this circle of salt and bamfs into one of the towers, which again, I think in this book, I don't think it's here yet, but there's some place where, again, they reference the pentagram, which they did in the last book as well. And I thought that was very different. I haven't read either Forgotten Realms or this where I've heard... the pentagram being kind of freely used.
Yeah, that was so touchy.
It was
with
very
the subject
touchy.
matter anyway.
When was this book written again? I forget.
95.
Satanic Panic was before that stuff, though, really.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking
Magic
Magic the Gathering, their first set in 92, 93. I mean, they changed the one sigil card or whatever that had a pentagram on it.
Oh, okay.
Because of parent backlash.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's the same company, though. You'd think they want to, like, distance themselves from that as much as possible.
But that's a visual medium, and parents could walk by and see it laying on a table. Nobody's going to be chapter 6 in. And be like,
what? They have a pentagram? Jimmy, you are not reading this book. We are going to be burning this book. It is not allowed in this household. Smack ya.
Yeah, so they bamf in. Dalamar's surprised.
That's where it comes from in the beginning of the chapter. He's surprised when they bamf in.
I hate these.
I feel like this is almost like a Sesame Street episode. We're like,
he's surprised. Were you surprised, Timmy? Paul, tell me about a time you were surprised. Dalamar's surprised here.
Dalamar's surprised? That's the name of the chapter.
When Uncle Dalamar came in my
credits.
room once and wait, I can't talk about that.
So immediately he's surprised, but he's still got dinner for 4 sitting on the table.
Well, no, he magicked that stuff up.
I know.
He did because it was one of those where he was like, "Oh my gosh, Tass, you're annoying the crap out of me."
Hey, do you remember me?
yeah.
Usha is annoying the crap out of him. He's like, "Here, eat this. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep."
I love how Tass keeps coming up to people. He does it like 9, 10, 15 times in the book where he comes up to people in the book. Hey, I'm Tass. I'm Tasselhoff Birdfoot. I'm a hero of the Lance. We met before 20 years ago. Do you remember me? He says that like 12
all the
times
time.
throughout the book.
Yeah,
It's true.
He definitely doesn't want to live that down. Tass is the guy from high school that still wears his Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
10, 15 years on.
Jenna had put something in their wine, didn't she?
And she drugs them because they just fall asleep, and then that gives her the opportunity with Dalamar to go through everything and be like, okay, so what's going on with this golden-eyed woman who obviously is the the daughter of Raisel.
Yeah, because doesn't
a little private time with Big D.
No, she wants to hang out with Big D.
I'm not interested in his chest. What's in those leather pants? Because I think he wears leather pants.
Hey, now that we finished this discussion, do you think we got a couple minutes?
Is it wrong? Is it wrong though? Even though he's supposed to be kind of a dark, brooding character, I do see Dalamar as Brent Spiner.
Who's that?
Yeah, who's that?
Data from Star.
Oh, okay.
Like he just that hair, like Brent Spiner in a black puffy shirt and leather pants. I'm gonna make that. That's gonna be a
thing. Some pointy elf ears.
Little pointy elf ears.
There is somebody out there that is just screaming at you right now.
Yeah.
All the Spiner femmes start going after Dalamar. And if you don't know what a Spiner femme is, go walk Trekkies. Ooh.
I haven't
seen
seen
it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You haven't seen Trekkies?
No.
Oh my God, it's old. It's from '88, something like that. It's when Star Trek: The Next Generation first came out, and then they go through kind of like all the fans and everything. Brent Spiner as Data had a whole following of women who called themselves Spiner femmes and wanted him something awful.
Well, he is anatomically correct.
There you go.
There is actually a woman in that who looks an awful lot like Margaret Weiss from the 80s talking about how she's in love with. So you should really go look this movie up.
Okay, so
anyway, tangent.
They talk.
Hold on, I have to interject here. Has Usha decided to say she is Raceland's daughter yet?
No.
Okay, people are just implying that she is.
She's walking around with golden eyes.
Yeah,
Because she didn't even know who Raceland was when Taz brought it up to her in jail.
Right. Yeah, so
she's like,
she hasn't been said anything.
Oh, that Raceland. Where I'm from, it's such a common name. Okay.
Okay, chapter
7. Inn of the Last Home. A meeting between old friends.
I kind of liked this just because whenever we're in the Inn of the Last Home, I get good feels. But
you just taste some of those spicy potatoes.
I do, which we haven't done a lot of cooking. We got to do more cooking. We got to pull out that cookbook. But there's some good conversation here between Tanis and Caramon. I don't know.
This goes over the stories from second gen. Mm-hmm. If you haven't read the tales that were compacted for second gen, this gives you the information.
Like literally chapter 7 you could just skip over if you read second gen, because that is what this whole chapter is.
We do get the drought issue here.
Yeah. Which is kind of important. It's the hottest year on record, and so that's kind of plays there's a constant oppression of heat in this entire universe going on, which is nice.
I don't know if this comes from them breaking open chaos. Like I had a little bit of an issue with that.
Interesting.
That's what I originally thought was, hey, the Grey Gem's been opened, and now all of a sudden the drought. But then again, the drought has been happening for a little while, so I
didn't know. I saw it as an unconnected portent of the coming storm. A lot of times before, in a fantasy novel, before something awful, the invasion or whatever, there's something with nature or the natural surroundings that's going on. Maybe unrelated.
Because of the Wheel of Time. I think mine was the Wheel of Time. Okay. I don't think any of you guys have read that series.
No, I read it. I read the first couple of eons.
Because it's later on in the books where, like, as it gets worse and worse, the drought happens. It gets hotter and hotter. So I automatically, I think, took that and related it to Chaos being opened.
Okay.
So it was I really liked it.
I did too.
I don't know, foreshadowing of the horror that will come.
Correct. We also learned that Dalamar is the head of the Conclave, since Justarius is dead after he led a bunch of mages after a group of Ariakan's wizards. Spellcheck did a number on those notes. This was when I was typing it up with the old computer that still had the bad key.
Oh, no.
So it would try
Spellcheck's yelling at you. What are you doing?
Imagine typing up notes, folks, with no letter A key.
You don't use the letter A that often.
It's really easy.
Chapter 8, Dragon Flight, Dragon Council, Captor and Captain.
Whose idea? But but Steele and Palin carry the bodies of Sturm and Tannen on the back of this blue dragon flare. I like. What do you think they have conversations about?
Oh, a lot of awkward silence.
Yeah,
for sure.
Palin like passes out for most of it.
Yeah.
If I remember right, Palin's just like, oh god, I can't do this, and just is gone.
Palin's like, hey, Sturm.
He whispers sweet nothings into Sturm's ear.
So,
are we going a little fast?
Sturm or Steele?
Steele.
Yeah,
Steele.
So shoot.
Sturm and Tannen are the bodies
Sturm,
on the back.
If nothing sticks to
Steele.
If nothing sticks to Teflon, how does it stick to the pan?
I've got the perfect answer for you. Magic.
Oh.
There you go.
Steele.
So what's up with the whole team?
Okay, if you don't shut up, I am going to kill you.
How many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon?
What? And that is how Palin died.
Hey, when they got
That's
the
from a
Grey
Goofy
Gem
movie. I don't actually.
Were those guys when they got the Grey Gem? Were they drinking Tang?
Oh my! Tang, by the way, great thing to drink during half marathons. It's just like all the other sports
What's up
drinks.
with Ovaltine? The container's round. They should call it Roundtine.
So
Thanks, Jerry Seinfeld.
we could get into the discussion here about how big are the frickin' dragons?
No,
we could,
because
but
there's
4 people on the backs of this
we
one.
have a double saddle and 2 dead bodies on
And
this
we've
dragon.
seen that little weenie dragon that's on the cover of 2nd Gen.
Flair is
The weenie dragon.
I feel like Flair is no weenie dragon.
No, Flair's a badass.
She will rip you to shreds.
Oh,
just
yeah.
for kicks and giggles.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and they do an interesting
They
portion
do.
here too, where they're not just gonna fly into Solace.
Yeah.
Hey, that the dark guy on the blue dragon just flew in.
Yeah, right.
So they land outside of town. We have this little drop here that Flair's going to go hide in Zaxxaroth. And I'll go hide in Zaxxaroth. There's usually a couple of goblins and sheep wandering around over there.
I also really like they show a little bit more emotion with the dragons here. With Flair.
Personality.
They're characters in this.
The dragons
they're
have
not just
character.
mounts, they're characters.
Flair talks back and forth. She has that relationship with Steel that is built and tested throughout the entire book. I really like
I would
that.
say that this is the first novel that I could say is a really good Dragon Kryn novel.
Yes.
Not going to say Lance yet, because those haven't
I will
made
say
an appearance.
there are lances.
There are lances.
They're coming.
There are lances in this book.
So is this is the first one I'll be able to officially say a Dragonlance novel?
Well, there is more than one lance even.
There's lances. There's
Lance
dragon
eye?
lances. There's dragon lances, and there's also like
Dragon riders.
the bootleg Amazon version that you can get.
Nice.
Wait, this will be the second book with lances.
Wow, true.
Chapter 9.
I mean, they obviously used them in the winter's night to kill the dragons in that awesome killing ground.
I actually really enjoyed the lance scenes that come up towards the end of the book.
Yeah, they are really good.
Chapter 9, a warning. Elves take up arms. Tika takes up the skillet.
Which, by the way,
I bet she's cooking food for them. That's what that means.
Can we talk about how
she's staying in that
remember
kitchen.
way back when
Tika
that was her
better-
first weapon was the skillet.
Tika better stay in that kitchen.
Can we talk about how
can't have her-
Skillet has never, as a band, stayed to one genre of music? I mean, they started out sounding like Nirvana, and then they're like weird and electro.
Yeah, I don't listen to Skillets.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to hit you with a skillet here pretty soon.
Philip is killing me right now.
Skillet has changed.
He
though.
is stabbing a steak right now as he's trying to cook it. Cutting it.
Idiot.
So,
Talking about Skillet. Okay.
So Tanis falls asleep. Tanis had fallen asleep. Porthios is back looking at his maps, and he wakes up. All of a sudden, we have a runner come through the door because the elves are using the Inn of the Last Home as like a little spy base.
Because someone's having a baby.
Yeah, someone's got a baby. Yeah. The two outcasts.
Can you imagine being that guy coming in with that message to Porthios?
Yep.
Boss, sir, there's a dark knight out there with a white mage, and they're coming this way with a couple bundles.
What do we do?
Right.
And Steele must be jacked because he's got the 2 dead bodies. He's got Sturm and Tannen on a litter that he's dragging through.
They're landing.
Down the
There's
road.
Elven warriors surrounding him.
Steele's ready to rock. He's ready to die right there.
Yep.
Actually, I really like
the
this.
elves want to fight here as well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that gets us into chapter 10, an excellent place for an ambush.
Yeah.
I was weirded out by this one because it only has one title.
Yeah. There's only one statement here.
Well, isn't this the exact same spot that Tanis and
Of course it is.
They make a very big deal of it.
They made a big deal of that. It's like, I don't really care. I hate to
the
say
elves
that.
come up. Tanis shows up. We have the whole Tanis realizes who's on the litter.
Why did I make this as a note?
To be very honest, this is kind of a moment where you know it's going to be sad. This is a
Caramon
sad
wanted to come
moment.
with them initially, and
Tanis is like, no.
If it is Palin and they're carrying bodies, I bet I know what this is.
Yeah, well...
Actually, a smart move by Tannen.
Tanis and
Tannen's
Porthios...
not moving anywhere.
Tanis and Porthios actually were talking in Elven the entire time. Caramon has no idea other than they just know that somebody had to go elsewhere.
But Tanis
Uh-oh.
Sees Palin and has this beautiful exchange, which I would like to read.
Yes.
Right now? Now that they were alone, Tanis turned to Palin. Tell me, son. Tell me what happened. The kind voice, the familiar face, the thought of the tidings he bore were too much. Tears blurred Palin's vision, choked off his voice. Courage, said Tanis, adding, tears are nothing to be ashamed of, Palin.
We know Tanis likes his tears.
But there is a time for weeping. And this isn't it, believe me. I need to know what you are doing here, both of you, and I need to know now, before we all end up looking like something out of your mother's sewing basket.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Now I see why that is written in your notes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You know, I feel like in some ways they might have come around to realizing that Tanis is crying all the time.
Oh, hey, our main hero guy is a crybaby.
Yeah, because they literally like.
They make fun of him.
I feel like they that's put in there as kind of like a gag almost. Like, we're gonna talk about we're gonna have Tanis talk about the appropriate time to cry.
But some people might take it serious where they think they were being very serious about Tanis being, I don't know, I can't. It's Tanis. Nothing with Tanis can I take serious at all.
I agree.
So yeah, we have this whole idea of Tanis crying. Talks about when to cry. Yeah, whatever.
I actually like though Tanis here. He's pretty intelligent. He sizes up the enemy, and he's got a good conversation with Steel. Tanis is a little bit different in this first half of the book for me. He has been. He's a little bit more level-headed.
Yeah.
He's got more tactics behind him than I'm used to from Tanis. So he's a little bit better in this book, I've thought so far. We'll see where that goes.
He's intelligent, he's trying to keep Porthios?
Yes.
He's trying to keep Porthios and his gang from just jumping the boys right away.
Right.
He's the hero we need.
Yeah.
He's actually doing something right.
And so and here the ransom comes up again. The Conclave must open the portal.
Can we talk about this ransom? What are you guys feeling about this whole kind of?
It's pretty weak on the side of the Dark Knights.
So let's just the big picture here, right? Is Palin is being held captive by Steel. Steel is allowing Palin to return to bury his brothers. So Palin is going, or Steel is flying into enemy territory, allowing Palin to do his thing. When everybody finds out what's going on, Palin's like, no, I'm going with Steel. I'm honor bound to him. We are going to go and try to get the wizards to open up the portal to the abyss. I've sworn to do this thing, right?
Yep.
Nah. What is your thoughts on all this? Because, okay, there's the realist in me that's going, wait a second. So Palin has been acting a lot throughout the other book as well, like Raistlin. Raistlin just about destroyed all of Kryn with his whole opening the portal. All of creation, opening the portal to Kisis thing. Wait, we've got him just flying home to bury his brothers with one night of Takesis, and we're going to let him be honor bound to go back to try to open that portal? Like that's like, we're working on the H-bomb, and I'm honor bound to keep working on it. So I'm coming back home. I just came back here for this Finnish sliding festival you got going on here. I'm gonna eat some lutefisk, but this guy here, this Werner von Braun or whatever his name is, he's gonna take me back to Germany, and then I'm gonna just help them kind of complete their bomb. So we might use it on you. I don't know.
We don't know.
You know, I know where they're going.
I find this entire setup, I have to actually just turn off my mind with most of this, because this is all absurd to me.
Yeah.
All of this is just absurd.
This is just nepotism, the novel.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to be honor bound, and we're all honor bound to each other to until we open the Takesis to freaking hell. I don't it's
honor. I barely know her.
Yeah, it's stupid. All of this is really poor and really stupid and weak to me.
Why would
Why would you do this?
Why would the good guys care?
The big thing is this is not real life.
I
That's
agree.
the key part.
Well, clearly,
this is a fantasy about dragons
where
and
they
lands.
have that honor where they have that honor bound and all those things.
Well,
That's why
I'm more on
Is this just fantasy?
I'm more on the side of why would the good guys go with this?
I agree because
they know they already assume that he can't do it because Raceland sealed that power.
Freaking, he's pretty powerful
Well, still
at this point.
Minus that, even if he could. Whatever, like I'm sorry, kid, but you're not worth the destruction of everything.
I agree, but again, but you have to remember too that this is the elves. We haven't been to the conclave yet. We haven't done any of that. This this right here, right now is the elves.
But you also have
their own
Kika and
problem.
Karamon there.
They have their own problems to deal with.
Like, and some of this is brought up. Like, is it Karamon or they don't want him to go, and there's a little bit of like, oh, I'm gonna smack him with this pan, but. But this to me, and I agree with you, Paul, this is fantasy, and sometimes you just gotta let things go. But boy, to me, this is kind of the weakest part of this whole plot that's keeping things going. I wish they would have thought something better up than this. Yeah. I wish somebody would have been being held against their will in order to like leverage Palin. Maybe the brothers were taken captive. Something to leverage Palin to do this, besides this weird honor-bound thing.
See, I feel like they knew. I know when Lilith finally relented to letting them go, she wanted to up the bounty so much so that she knew the council would say no.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think Palin doesn't even go to the council. He says screw the council because he knows the answer.
Let's get there. Let's get there.
That's what you guys are arguing about is like, well, it's stupid. Why would they go to the council? They're not going to. He already knows he can't.
Right. That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
So let's get through this.
Chapter 11. The ransom. Raceland's room. Palin's plan. I like the alliteration.
Most of them have been going with this 3, which is why that one was such a shock.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So we get to the end of the last home. Of course, very choke up scene.
Oh yeah.
Choke up scene is hey, your kids are dead.
Yeah.
There's no fun way of saying that.
Yeah, I actually think this was pretty powerful. I really liked all of
this one hurt a little bit. This one hurt.
I agree.
You're reading through and you're like, oh.
I really like this whole thing about Raceland's room kind of being a shrine that wizards who pass through visit. I like this whole part because this is exactly how it would be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have made him basically into a god.
Well, and this whole idea too of just anybody who's ever been to like a religious shrine where people leave trinkets and people leave things, I can't imagine what's actually in the boxes of stuff.
Yeah,
because it talks about Karamon cleans it up every once in a while, and just the boxes of magical items that are in the back storage room of the end of the last
WMDs.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were gonna say WWF magazines.
No, but yeah, WMDs. There's there's got to be. I kind of wanted it to go back here somehow on how like what they needed to save the world is actually in a box in the back of the last
something that somebody just left for Raceland to empower.
That's another book down the line.
Yeah, there probably is another book about it.
The ring of the ring of solace or something.
Yeah. No, it's nice hearing how Raceland is still in the world. I guess I would say they care.
remembered by the world, right?
Yeah.
Although that's all weird too. He just about destroyed it, but
yeah,
whatever.
They have very quick memories.
But he saved it at the end. That's all that counts.
And I'm assuming they've been proselytizing this, right?
Yes.
Because nobody would have known this except It's kind of like, does anybody know that Vader turned at the end if Luke didn't go shouting it from the mountaintops? I don't know.
Vader, yeah.
Okay, chapter 12. Because I don't want to go with my last statement.
I was going to say, but we have a whole. We have more with chapter 11 here, I think, though, because we need to bring up the beach battle.
Right,
because Palin tells his father how the brothers died.
Yeah,
and this is some very good brotherly moments. I think is written very real and very well.
I agree. This is going to be Margaret. This is Margaret
as it goes through here
because this feels like Soulforge.
And we get to, and this is where we find out Palin telling Steele, "I'm not going to Wayreth. We're not going to the council. We're going to the Dark Tower."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't need I'm not going to get the council's permission. We're not going to go talk to the council. I'm just going to go do it.
And Steele doesn't like that.
No.
Because he wants the ransom.
Yeah. this is where it even becomes even dumber. Yeah, we're not going to even go to the gatekeepers on this one. We are literally going right to the abyssal portal, and we're going to open this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Palin here too thinks that because he's got a little bit of that whole thing that Raceland had with Fist and Daedalus.
Because Raceland keeps talking in his head a little bit.
Raceland keeps talking in his head a little bit, and so he's going to be like, I'm going to do it, and then we're going to take, and Raceland's actually going to help me win the day. So I think there's a little bit more of the fact that Palin wants to do this because he knows if he goes to the council, he's not going to get anywhere near this room.
Right.
If they go straight to the tower, there's a possibility he could get near the room.
Right.
And so I'm going to do this. My uncle will still be alive inside. Everything will,
Right.
And we'll save the day together.
And maybe I can be more comfortable in my head with this if I were to believe that, well, maybe the people of Kryn don't really know all that's happened in all of these wars.
No.
Right? Like, they've been fighting all these wars, and some magicians were in a tower somewhere doing stuff.
And it worked.
And it worked. They say something about an abyss.
Yeah.
Maybe the end, the portal. I don't know. Like, maybe when these guys, it's like a bunch of nerds just nerd speaking, and they're like, oh, you're going for a portal? Oh, okay. They don't. Okay, whatever.
Well,
maybe they don't know.
And true, it's the everyday people of Kryn are just
Oblivious to this.
They don't know anything about it.
Magicians do stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah, magicians do stuff. I got this one nephew. He goes to that school over there. He's a little weird. He carries dead toads around.
Yeah, right. So
nowadays, if you carry around dead toads, you have to go and talk to somebody for a very long time.
Sometimes lightning strikes the tower. We hear weird flashings. I don't know.
So we get to chapter 12.
Virgins go missing. It's okay.
You're sacrificing mice.
They go to the tower to study.
So chapter 12 then?
Chapter 12, Usha's claim. Dalamar is not convinced. A startling discovery.
Oh my!
I like your little drop here, Bob.
Oh yeah, Dalamar questions Usha like it's a crime noir novel.
Of all the towers in all the world, you had to walk into mine.
True.
Just the two eyes appear in the back. It's only temporarily yours.
But this is where we got into the whole sleep thing. They put him to sleep.
She walked in here like a tall glass of golden mead.
But he's getting worried. He's like, wait, okay, if they split open this gray gem, boom, things could be bad. Does he know about chaos? I don't know if he knows that chaos is released, but he's concerned about it.
Yeah, because he's read the letter and like, oh god, they're gonna. Oh
yeah, this is not gonna work.
No, this is a dumb plan.
So let's get off to the Tower of High Sorcery. Boom.
Wait, no, we have again. Yes, and we're gonna get there.
Oh, his spoon.
And Tess steals a spoon in his sleep.
Because it's going to play a part later on.
It does. It plays a big part later on.
Part, yeah. Okay, so he's got a spoon. So keep that in mind, folks. He's got a spoon.
Chapter 13.
Siege of Calaman. I love this. Let's just talk just very quickly. It's a siege of a city, and it's freaking epic.
And it's a good siege. They wrote it really well. It's not a horror thing that they normally write well. It's just a battle.
And remember when we went through the first trilogy, this is one of the things I was always saying, man, you know what I'd really like? I'd like some viewpoints from people other than the main line, that as this army was approaching, it built this ominous presence. This is exactly what this does. We don't need to be here. We don't need to see this. But what it does is build the suspense of this army constantly eroding the safety net that's been built up around Kryn. They're coming closer and closer. I really like this. Lots of dragons, magicians.
And there's not even really a battle.
No, you don't see it. You don't see
it. There is
no battle. They surrender.
Yeah, there's not. Hey, I tell you, they just roll up and go, see this? See all these guys behind me?
Yeah, okay, we don't want to fight.
We're gonna win one way or the other.
Yeah.
How many dead do you want?
Well, it was nice because they did talk about...
Here's the key.
They talked about some of the defenses and just how quickly that...
They were just destroyed.
The defenses were just immediately like, oh, hey, you're going to shoot this at us? Well, that's going to burn up now. Good luck. Or you send out your burning ships, we'll just go drag them away. We don't care.
Yeah, and this is and awesome making it look here and making this feel like a capable army.
Yes. Yep.
It's not the Draconians running into each other all the time.
And knowing that Ancelon is not prepared.
Or the goblins, having sex with corpses in the middle of the road. This is a capable, disciplined army.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm loving it.
And it really makes you feel, it's like, oh, they could actually, especially after this scene, it's like, oh, they could actually pull this off.
Oh, yeah.
Chapter 14, our last.
Honestly, 14 and 15 are very similar. You can kind of you can put them together. 14 and 15.
Chapter 14, the wheel turns, the wheel stops,
the wheel turns again. Jeez.
Chapter 15, Steel vows revenge. Palin hears a familiar voice. The journey to Palanthas.
So they bury the brothers. Valen trees are planted. It's all very good.
It was very good. It was sad.
Very sad.
When Steel comes up, that was a good moment, I thought.
I thought so too.
Where he gave them the honor that.
Oh, and you felt the tension in the crowd, like, oh, he's going to screw up the funeral.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because this is a little off-putting. I mean, at some ways, the
guy that could have killed them.
Yeah, he didn't die at their hands, I don't think, because Steel is not the person who killed them. But at the same time, I mean, he's from the other army. This is quite something, but I liked it.
Well, this is the stories you hear about the guys from like World War II that would
go back and
they would like help out the other side because they both kind of understood. Yes, we're against each other when we're fighting, but when we're not fighting, we're both human.
Right.
You know the old stories about the American or the Allied soldier and the Japanese soldier that have been stuck on an island.
Right.
One is actually sad when the other one dies and they're fighting.
Right. And this definitely feels more akin of the American soldier who got something off the body of some sort of soldier a Japanese soldier in World War II goes back 40 years later to this feels more like what happens years after a battle. But I did like this. I thought this was pretty good.
And 15, that title tells you everything.
Steel vows revenge.
And we do start to see here in chapter 15 as we go along here what I've been waiting for, and I've been wanting. Okay, Palin's brothers are dead.
Yeah,
he's not the fit. We need a Karaman and Raceland thing going on here, and that's where I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
But we see this beginning of a cousin bond thing between Steelin and Palin.
And you guys have
Steelin and Palin.
Their celebrity relationship name.
Klab and Paul have already read through this, so I know you probably know. But this is where I first start getting the hints of like that. Their relationship is going to be much different by the end of this book than where it's at right now because it's starting.
Right now, Palin hates Steel.
And I love this. I like Steel and Palin. This is a really good relationship. I didn't think going into it from second gen that Steel and Palin would be the two that I'd really think, hey, I really want to know what they're doing. But I think they're about the greatest story in this book. So
it's a better relationship than Karaman and Raceland. Other than it, with Karaman and Raceland, it's always like, well, he's my brother, and it's like, well, he's my brother. I have to. There has to be a reason here.
And I will say at this point, I'm okay. I didn't think I wouldn't necessarily care what's going on with Tika and Karaman or Tanis. I'm okay. These old characters are actually feeling old. And I'm actually sitting here reading it going, so what is Palin and Steel doing? Can we get back to Usha?
Yeah.
So they've done a good job of flipping who I want to hear about in this book. Maybe because they're not giving the other characters anything good to do either.
Hey, Tika's got her skillet. You better watch out.
Yeah, I do bemoan the fact that I wanted a little bit more from Tika. Fiery Tika.
Everybody likes a fiery Tika.
I'd like to see more of her.
Yeah, we know you would.
If your Tika's fiery, you might want to put some cream on that. Ooh. Again, we have more time with Flair, too, which I really like. And I really like the more additions to the dragons being actual characters instead of just mounts.
I agree.
Chapter 16, The High Clerist's Tower, An Unwelcome Message.
Yeah.
Messenger. Excuse me, an unwelcome messenger.
Tanis is on a griffin. I always like this.
Griffins are always nice. Yeah.
They get the short shrift. I mean, they're always just kind of mentioned, but we don't get a lot about griffins.
They're mentioned, and you know that griffins have to be asked to be ridden, and if they don't like you, they'll tell you to piss off.
Yeah, but I never get any dialogue from a griffin. Have we heard any griffins talk in these books?
No. Griffin, they're intelligent, but we haven't heard them talk.
Or do any communication of any kind.
We meet Thomas Thalgard. And this was an issue that we've had in other books.
Yeah.
When you're using fanciful names and then you throw a regular name in there.
Mistress Jenna.
Jenna.
I agree.
Tommy.
Yeah, you got Usha and Tasselhoff. Jenna.
Thomas.
I think I
Tommy
graduated with like 5 Jennas.
And I like Thomas. Thomas is, he's your standard military general.
Yeah. He's like us. Just a tough general in his mid-40s. Oh wait, we're not in our mid-40s yet. But
I'm not a general. I'm an admiral. No.
Hey,
whatever
uniform you need to wear for Halloween is up to you.
We get this. Hey, dude, Kalaman has fallen, and they have mammoths.
I like.
I'm like, what?
Where the hell did this come from?
The army has elephants. They brought big furry elephants.
So is this from the barbarians? Is this the giants?
It must be.
They must have mammoths?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like, why not? They're blue.
And somewhere out there, Cersei Lannister is just pissed. You told me there'd be elephants.
Standing in a high tower, just pissed.
I like this. This is pretty.
And again, it gives us that epic feel. That feel of, okay, we have peril, we have an army that's coming down on us, we have 2 kids that are going to go and try to open the gates to the abyss, and we have this chick who may or may not be magic, may or may not be somebody's daughter, may or may not be integral to the plot later.
Right.
And you can tell this book is the product of 2 authors who have written, 6 other books together.
Right.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
At this point. All the mistakes that were made before, when it was just about pumping out content and just about pumping out stuff that we can turn into adventures and stuff, it's not here. It's not in this book.
Right.
And any of the little problems I have with it, really, it's minimal at this point.
I agree. It's pretty minimal for me.
Chapter 17 is actually one of my favorite chapters in this book. Eluding the patrols, an odd sort of fishwife. One eye and a yellow eye. So Steele and Palin are trying to sneak into the city.
Well, this is my fishwife.
Your fishwife?
My fishwife.
I put the hook in her. What?
I put the hook in her, and everything else we just do for fun.
Yep. Well, they're not super inventive with the Minotaur. We've got Steele and Palin who row out into this harbor, but this drunk Minotaur is literally a stereotype pirate. If I were to ask you, be a pirate, Paul, what would you say?
Arr, what are you doing?
Avast, ye scurvy dog.
Is that legitimately what he said?
If somebody asked me to be a drunk pirate at a party, that's ya lubbers and avast ye scurvy dog are the first things out of my mouth. That's exactly what he says. Avast ye scurvy dogs.
I feel like a Minotaur would just grunt at you. If it was truly pissed at you, it would just be like,
I feel like you would do some sort of play on something from the universe, instead of avast ye scurvy dogs, avast ye.
Well, and the part that I love about this is this part about Palin's how are we going to get into the city? Oh, we have spies everywhere. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then we meet Catherine, the fishmonger's wife.
I like Catherine.
And we find out she's a spy. She's a
warrior.
Yeah, she's a warrior of cases. She's been in town hiding as a fishwife.
Right.
And she sneaks him into the city.
Oh, that kind of fishwife, man. That's not what I was hoping for.
But she was a mermaid or what?
Yep.
She's led there by this gully dwarf, though. We have gully dwarves. Your garbage fraggle's making another appearance.
Hey, gotta have the garbage fraggle somewhere, man.
So leading him around. His name's Alf.
He's a garbage fraggle. They don't
think he eats cats.
He's a gully dwarf. He'll eat whatever he can. So and then we see this crow, and this crow idea is so cool because Palin keeps noticing this crow following them.
Yeah, I like it because it's a familiar, right? Is it ever said in the book that it's a familiar? Because I just wrote in my notes that Catherine has a familiar.
It never says it's a familiar.
But I just took it as being a familiar.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah.
But the fact that it can cast a spell through it, things like that.
That's familiar.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah, and it's this weird yellow-eyed crow. How creepy is this thing?
Very creepy.
And so they go through the secret tunnels, and they get to the end of the secret tunnels, and they walk into an alley.
Yep, out into the streets of town.
Yeah, and they pop right out, and all of a sudden, Palin goes, "Wow, that was kind of it," and the bird bites him, and he goes, "How do we get here?"
Yeah, right.
Guys, where are we?
Temporary modification of the memory.
I'm like,
it's a
wow,
beautiful thing.
That is a cool spell.
But then
Can you do that, Luke?
Spoilers.
Okay.
How would you know?
Chapter 18, though, I like this chapter, but
Temple of Life, Grove of Death.
But it it's metal. But it presents more questions than answers because we get Chrysania's back. She's awesome. She's looking sexy, and she has this giant white tiger, which is cool. But it makes me kind of wander around.
I know.
That's like really
what
cool.
It usually is.
Yeah,
normally you're like
because she's blind. That's her seeing eye tiger.
Yeah,
she's
got one of those yolks that she's holding on to,
which we find out a bunch about later. But,
there's more of Chrysania.
There is more of Chrysania.
Good, because I was wanting more of Chrysania. Although the trouble is, I'm only seeing who is the person in the '90s that painted all of those, just like tigers, white tigers laying around in star fields
on a van.
No, you know what I'm saying.
You know, and she's just there's this moon and there's this tiger. But there's this chick with this big laser gun.
But I'm not kidding.
Like she's just protecting him.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I know what you're talking about.
I think Temple of Life and Grove of Death, though, sound like they should be two bands on a metal poster.
Do you guys like Temple of Life?
No. Man, I like Grove of Death, man. They're so much darker.
Temple of Life is just too, like, happy.
That's a hell of a mosh pit at the Grove of Life, or at the Grove of Death show.
Everybody bring out your knives. Everybody have your knives.
Those are just more spin-off bands with Garth Brooks and Chris Gaines. You know?
Can we talk about?
Wow, was that a deep reference?
Sorry.
Can you tell me?
I'm impressed. I'm actually really proud of you that you brought that up.
I remember
I had a manager at a restaurant I worked at that called me Chris Gaines.
I see it. I see it.
I can see it.
Back in my dark hair, dark hair days.
I can see it.
I remember watching Good Morning America when Garth Brooks first did the Chris Gaines thing, and it was so off-putting to me.
It was just weird.
It was so weird because I'm like, I listened to Garth Brooks, and I was like,
this is Chris
But
Gaines.
he was not breaking that wall. No. Like, I am Chris Gaines. I'm like, this is real douchey. I don't get any of this.
Paul, for a little bit, Garth Brooks pretended he was somebody else.
I was called Chris Gaines.
He played rock
I had
music.
No idea. I was just going to go along with it and let the bit go.
He kind of sounded like what's the "Stay with me."
But I don't really understand why
Chris Gaines and Chris.
So why do people do this though? We've already got that. Like Dave Wolverton is actually David Farland, the other author, and Stephen King also calls himself Richard Bachman.
Okay, authors I can see doing it because there's not really a face to it, but you're a musician.
Yeah, but Stephen King goes under the pseudonym Richard Bachman and writes pretty much the same stuff he did as Stephen King.
Okay.
Actually, he was Richard Bachman first.
Oh, well, that's true.
If you're doing something
different.
I
could see it. If I was writing something I didn't want people to connect to me, like I'm going to write some smutty 50 Shades of Grey, then I would change my name.
Have you actually read it?
But that was under Stephen King.
Yeah, but
the weird orgies.
It's a child
that is weird.
It's a child orgy.
That is not okay.
What?
Yeah,
there's a child orgy in it.
If you can actually plow through the 1,200 pages that book is.
The book It kind of sucks. I'm going to be honest.
Stephen King, let's be honest, gets a little long in the tooth. Like, he's got some really good ideas, but he likes to describe everything.
Why don't we save it for the Spooktacular?
Hey, Spooktacular. Let's talk about Bachman and King.
All right, so...
You listen to Bachman Turner Overdrive?
You know what we need to do?
I love that bit you do. That's so funny.
You know what we need to do right now?
What?
We need to take care of some business.
Every day. Let's go.
Taking care of business every day. So she sees, and we get her mystical powers here because she knows who Steele and Palin are right away.
So she does like the I'm going to listen to your heart kind of thing, and talks about how there's these two warring sides, right?
Two
who are you
competing
going to
sides.
Mom is close to the heart, Dad close to the soul. I actually really like that. I thought it was pretty. I was poignant, and I liked it. Yeah.
Here's a necklace, kid. She gives Palin a necklace.
The Shoykin Grove talisman.
Yep.
Although, again, name for a band. If we are ever a band, we're gonna be called Shoiken Grove. Shoiken Grove.
Well, we are that band without a name, so that'll be.
That's what we'll call ourselves.
What's up with Shoiken Grove Talisman?
Shoiken Grove. No, Talisman is the name of our first album.
Okay,
right,
so they enter the grove.
So, Shoiken Grove, they got a talisman. She's walking, she's talking, she's telling them all about
We enter
themselves.
the grove.
We did it as our intro.
We did it as our stinger.
Bum.
Chapter 19. Taz is bored. Conversation with the Spectre. Powerful Kender magic.
Hey, the spoon's coming back.
Yep, here's the spoon. We got a turning spoon.
So Taz and Usha decide that they're going to leave because, right, they wake up from being poisoned and all that, or drugged.
Yeah,
right?
They were roofied.
Yeah.
But, okay, so where does Taz get the idea that this spoon is magical? Because he just stole it.
Because he's
But he was in his sleep.
senile.
It was in his sleep.
Okay, so maybe it was...
He doesn't remember stealing it.
Okay.
He just found it and went, "Oh yeah, this must be the Kender spoon of turning I got from my own."
Uncle Trap Springer.
And I love the whole Uncle Trap Springer bit.
There's a whole book we need to read.
And the fact that every Kender evidently is related because they all have that Uncle Trap Springer.
Yeah, we need to read this book because
And
he's
it's
a
the
prolific
same
little fellow.
It's the same dude.
Yep.
He got around. Well, his brother did.
Yeah. So they open up the door.
Around.
So they open up the door, and there's one of those. There's one of our eyeless guards, or excuse me, our only eye guards.
Yeah, the floating eyes guy.
Is it the whole eye? Is it just like a little eye? Or
I think it's two eyes.
It's got like the tail of the nerves going back into the brain. Like
No, it's. I think
That's
it's
a sperm.
I've always seen it as glowing eyes.
That's a sperm. I don't.
Two sperm.
To be fair, my sperm are connected to my brain, so
That's true.
so they get out of there.
That's not how that works.
They go running out of the tower because the Spectre had to boof off somewhere because something else happened.
Yeah, right.
people were coming through the grove.
Yeah, people were coming through the grove. They get out of the tower. They go running down. Then they come running down. They meet a red mage who's there studying.
Yeah, right.
Oh, hey,
Hey,
guys.
red can go anywhere. They can either go, they can go to the white. They can go to the.
So
Who are
black,
you?
of course.
Who are you? I'm the new girl.
Oh, hello.
Again, she's wearing MC Hammer pants. You know what? She kind of looks like crap. I'm so bad with names. What is the name of the 2000 artist? Genie in a Bottle.
Christina Aguilera.
She looks like Christina Aguilera. Thank you.
I'm into it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah, she's Christina Aguilera.
Okay. Yeah.
Before she's on The Voice.
Before she's
There you
on The Voice. Yeah. 2000s Christina Aguilera.
2000s Christina Aguilera.
So chapter 20.
These people don't age
Chapter
well.
20.
Okay, chapter 20.
White robes, black armor.
All man.
Old Spice has a scent for you.
Yeah.
Old Spice white robes for daytime. And when you're ready to hit it with your boys at the bar, black armor.
She's a white robes in the streets, black armor in the sheets.
I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Old Spice, not a sponsor.
But I'm wearing it. I'm a Fiji kind of guy. Steal and pale and fight through the grove. That's too much information.
No, we
Not
know.
a sponsor.
We already know way too much about
Oh,
you,
that's
Rob. This
true.
is nothing.
The grove is awesome.
They always do the groves
It's always-
awesome.
it's always awesome.
cool.
There's the whispering voices.
Yep.
Hands coming out of the ground.
But all you have to do is say, Majer! Majer! And they all go away.
You guys know my uncle?
I'm Majer! And then they just kind of go away.
At which point they open the door and Tasselhoff comes barreling out.
Yeah. Chapter 21. The gate opens.
Nutari's garden.
The way is prepared.
Nuatari, excuse me.
feel that'd be-
Nuatari is another great band name.
I think for
Nuatari's garden.
all-girl
That's a
punk
great-
band.
no.
All-girl punk band.
That's an Old Spice then.
New Atari's garden,
Atari.
and it have like some sort of like chalice symbol.
No. Nobody can see what you're doing, and it's a good thing.
Hold on. Let's take a picture of that and post that one to the page.
No.
New Atari's garden.
So the four of them stand outside the tower for a while and then decide to go back in.
That was a song
Hey, we just escaped. You want to go back in? Okay.
by Guns N' Roses on their Civil War.
What are you talking
New Atari garden.
We missed the first half of this.
Sorry.
Bob and
We
I
were talking about
having
the
a
book.
conversation.
We this
kind
gets
of
weird.
were.
This gets weird for me for a while now. The whole
it just gets weird now.
The whole Palin and Usha thing. Well, Palin and Usha just met.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I understand.
There's heat.
I understand we're in a fantasy world, but that's maybe if she was like his second cousin.
This is a little Luke and Leia circa Empire.
I will say though, he thinks she's attractive before he knows they're cousins, and then he does stop.
Right.
Thankfully.
No, he still thinks he's still in love with her.
Yeah, he always goes. I wish
impressions are hard to shake.
I wish she wasn't my cousin.
It's gonna happen,
and she digs him.
Yeah,
which part of me is going, okay, maybe because I keep thinking of him in my head as the mage from Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon show.
What?
Dungeons and Dragons had a cartoon show.
Yeah. You've never seen it? I've got the whole DVD set. I'll give it to you.
You don't know this?
And you can torture yourself by watching it.
I love that.
I had a feeling it probably doesn't hold up.
Yeah. Probably sucks.
Really. There's a reason there's one season.
But it's epic. I love Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon show.
They got a new Dungeons and Dragon ride.
What? Yes, they do.
They get there through a Dungeons and Dragons ride at a fair.
I will watch.
No, I'm already out.
I will watch when Critical Role comes out with their animated thing. I will watch.
They're gonna do an animated show.
That is a crappy picture, but that is the mage from Dungeons and Dragons. He's just this nerdy little guy.
No. Come on, that is like what every mage playing Dungeons and Dragons looked like in 1985.
Yep. Okay, I was gonna say I don't look like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's how Thorm imagines your guy.
That's fine.
But
I will melt you from the inside out.
I have to go back. Fine. I have to go back now, though. I have to go back and reset my head at times throughout this novel. He looks like the brothers. He looks like Caramon and Raceland. He's not frail. He's not small. But I have to keep rebooting myself with that, especially now that Usha's like, oh, look at him. But Usha's all about him. Whereas I think if you're walking into a bar and you're the nerdy mage and you have Steel the knight standing next to you, the chick isn't going to talk to the nerdy mage.
No. But see,
everybody's got their own thing.
I totally disagree. This is Luke, Leia, and Han. Exactly what we just said. I mean, for crying out loud, he's the white robe. He's practically wearing the little shorty white robe. Anyway, that Luke is in. They're running up through the garden, right?
Yeah.
Through Shoiken Grove. He's got on the shorty thing, and Han is there. That's what everybody else was saying. It's like, why is Leia going for Luke when Han Solo is so much cooler? And he's just the dark Han Solo standing there. She's going to come around.
Does that make Hasselhoff Chewie?
Yeah. I think so.
Aren't you a little
R2-D2.
Is that why?
Aren't you a little short for a white robe wizard?
Is that why we can't understand anything that Chewie says in our world? Is because he's speaking Kender?
True. Look, Steel has the Millennium Falcon. I mean, it's a blue dragon, but it's
okay.
Yeah.
Boy,
I'll get her out on Flare.
Palin's hopelessly in love. All right, moving right along here. Chapter 22.
Footloose and fancy free.
Suspicions, introspection, Raceland's laboratory.
I bet you we'll end up in Raceland's laboratory.
No way.
I'll put you in Raceland's laboratory.
Yikes.
So now this is again one of those things that if you haven't read any of the trilogies, it's giving you all the backstory.
Yep.
The whole, like, this is what Raceland did, blah, 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 blah.
If you have read the trilogies,
you can skip it.
You skim it a lot. That's what I did. I just kind of was like, oh, he sees everything. All right.
All right. And the Spectres just let him by.
I don't know why. What does anybody know why?
Because Raceland told them to.
Raceland told them to. And the cool part, though, is they don't let Steel by. They have that little bit of a, well, screw you, you're not coming in.
Yeah, because a door slams in his face and he's trapped on the other side.
But the reason it slams in his face is he hesitates.
Yeah,
he has
true. He would have made it
because he beats himself up for the rest of the book about hesitating. When Palin, and of course Tass goes running in, Palin goes in after Tass, and Steel hesitates a moment, and in that moment of hesitation is when the door. So I think Steel could have gone through if he didn't hesitate.
And my notes are screwed up. I didn't go back and correct it. Usha gets through. I think I have Usha and Steel's on the other side, but Usha gets through, right?
No.
Usha does not. No, she's stuck back there with Steel too.
She hits the wall and cries.
Yeah, her and Steel hang out for a little while, and then Steel eventually just goes, "Well, this, I'm out." Wow, sorry. I think that's the first one you'll have to edit from me.
Yeah, I actually.
Sorry about that.
So Palin goes in, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And then we flash over to Dalamar.
A lot of flash.
Dalamar shows back up, and I'm like, no, I want to be in the laboratory.
I agree.
But I like what they're doing here.
Yep, it's creating a lot of tension.
It is creating a lot of tension. So chapter 23, Dalamar returns. A message. Usha's magic.
Steel tries to break through the door, but the floating eyes stop him.
I'm sorry, I couldn't take those eyes very seriously until I actually have seen them like murder somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just
Wasn't
kind
that
of
last trilogy? Didn't the shadows were like screwing people up left and right?
Okay, that I would take serious, but I mean, if I'm just seeing floating eyes, in my image, when I just see floating eyes by themselves, I don't imagine anything creepy.
Well, like Dalamar.
But I can see magicians knowing what they're gonna do. But like a warrior, you'd feel like a warrior like Steel would test these eyes.
Yeah,
to be like, okay, you're floating eyes. What are you gonna do?
Are you just an illusion to screw with me? What are you doing? Like,
I feel
maybe
like maybe there's some zapped or
maybe there's some specter fear, like dragon fear.
Oh yeah, maybe there is specter fear.
Dalamar berates the specter. He's like, "Why'd you let him in? You weren't. I told you not to let anybody in. Your orders were overwritten by the master. I am the master. No, you're not.
Orders are coming from within the abyss. What's happening?
Dalamar takes Steel to the Chamber of Seeing in the basement. We go down to this wicked place.
Oh, that place is awful.
I love that place. That place is terrifying.
Ooh, the painting of it is awesome.
We get a little Usha and Jenna as Usha's. But I really liked him. You've been together for 15 minutes while you climb the stairs.
Those 15 minutes on those stairs.
That can bond a person.
Magical.
Yeah. You know when you're in
I've been bonded in 15
together?
minutes.
Yeah. Struggle.
Hey, that last time you were in prison doesn't count, Klab.
And so Usha does magic.
Yeah.
She takes a vial out of her stuff that she got from the Irda because she got a bunch of parting gifts from the Irda.
Right, and this is one of the like I don't know how many spells she's got in here, but didn't he kind of tell her like use this kind of?
Well, she had to remember because she was blowing everybody off when they were giving her the gifts because she was pissed off that she was being sent away.
Yeah, she does know roughly what these do. She just it's just kind of stuck back there.
Yeah,
you just kind of have to listen.
She had to actually like go back and remember.
Yeah.
Chapter
Turns out listening's important.
But she sniffs it, turns to smoke.
Off she goes.
Chapter 24, the Chamber of Seeing.
Oh, I love the Chamber of Seeing always.
It's dark, it's scary, there's monsters all around.
So Steel has like a quarter, puts it in the chamber, dials up,
quickly dials, collects.
Talks to the commander.
I'm in trouble, I need help.
The monsters had a name.
The monster has a
name. The monsters had a name.
The thing.
Yeah, they were the failed experiments.
Yeah, all the things.
Yeah, they had names though. The unseen. For some reason, that shows up in my mind, but I don't think it's right.
Sure, but this is kind of awful because these are creations of Raceland's, right?
Yeah, that
it wasn't just his; it was a few others as well.
Yeah, it was like Raceland and
Fisty and stuff. But I mean, this again makes them very evil. I mean, this is awful. These are sentient creatures that are doomed and being tortured all the time. They are despicable in a lot of ways. Raceland and of course Fisty.
And this is like, and every time we go down here, and these creatures, these are like when you go into the room of the failed clones.
Yes. This is Alien 4 when Ripley sees her weird failed clone self.
Oh yeah.
Boy, what an awful movie reference that is.
I've never seen it. So
don't.
Hey,
I wasn't planning.
So Steel finds out from his commander that you lost your prisoner, so you're going to be put to death in his place.
Right.
But we need you to get back here because we're about to attack the High Clerist's tower.
Yeah, which I'm all game for. Yep. Let's go.
And Steel goes, absolutely, I accept my fate. I'm going to come back. I will do whatever, yada, yada, yada. I'll probably die. Maybe I can die in honor of battle versus just getting executed.
Right.
Yeah. Chapter 25, the well-dressed dwarf, double or nothing.
Every girl's crazy about a well-dressed dwarf.
Jeez. So again,
you don't listen to ZZ Dwarf?
They do kind of look like dwarves.
They do.
Just tall ones.
Well, that should happen too.
I do.
You're
always
getting all sorts of ideas.
I'll never remember them, so somebody let me know.
I do always love the fact
that... You'll be the one
that...
editing. You can just listen to it and, as you go.
I do always love the fact that the drummer for ZZ Top's last name is Beard and is the only one without a beard.
I think that's an ironic thing that they purposely are doing.
So
maybe
we're with
Beard
Usha.
can grow a beard.
We're with Usha. coagulates back together.
Yeah.
She's in the city. She's in the streets of the city and runs into Dugan Redhammer.
Redhammer, which we know from second
We
gen.
all know Dugan.
And she's like, I don't have a job.
I'll give you a job, lassie.
Yeah.
And then we go through this whole thing where Dugan makes a bet with a guy to get some food, but he uses a two-headed coin and he gets caught.
Not fraud.
So it took me a while to find it. They're called the live ones.
The live
live ones.
Yes, because there's undoubtedly dead ones.
Yes.
So they're going on. He says, "Hey, I know where I can take you," and where he takes her is weird. Chapter 26, the laboratory. Tasselhoff takes the initiative, among other things. So it's dark in here. It's jet black in the lab. Tasselhoff is bumbling around, touches stuff.
Tass is doing what he does. He just grabs everything. Things go into pockets. Things fall out of pockets. And
then he finally pulls the cord. He finds the curtain that's over the portal. He pulls the curtain and the portal's open.
It is kind of funny because every single time I've read this any of the trilogies, when we get to the portal and there's this little rope that you pull to reveal it, I literally just see it as one of those golden cord with the little tassel.
Yes.
I just see it all the time.
Tasselhoff is pulling the
Tassel's pulling the little tassel. Like, what's this do?
Oh,
and
hey.
I see blue velvet curtains that fall.
Oh,
I don't know.
Red.
Is it red?
I was going with dark black. That's what I always...
blue. I don't know why blue.
Well, actually, if you go and you look at the painting that Larry Elmore did.
Actually, I don't know if it's Elmore. It's you used it in the video of Raceland's End.
Oh, I know. No, that's the new where they're on the steps, like Cassania and stuff are outside of it. No, that's one of the new artists, and I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know.
Okay.
They just contract out those guys nowadays.
Chapter 27.
They're also doing magic cards on the side.
Yes.
All those guys.
Chapter 27. The Thieves Guild. New apprentice.
Last chapter we're going through here.
Hold on. For 26, is this where we find out is the portal active or not?
It's not, I think.
This is where we find out that it is completely
because
inactive.
isn't it until Tannen or Palin grabs the staff? Or I'm thinking to second gen when he grabs the staff and it lights up.
Yeah,
that's second gen.
Yeah, second gen. He opened the curtain. It's open.
The portal is just open. It's just inactive. It's just there's nothing there's no craziness. It's just there.
It's just making that portal noise.
Yeah.
Dugan takes Usha to join the Thieves Guild. We talk to a gully dwarf at the door.
Yay!
Yay for Fraggles.
Yeah,
Garbage Fraggles.
Garbage Fraggles are always fun. The head of the guild is Lynched Joffrey.
I like this. They failed at lynching him. He got his name that way.
I like that. And that's not uncommon. That's a true thing.
Yeah.
You could fail. There's lots of people who were failed at hanging.
Hanging's supposed to take a couple seconds.
Well, they drop you to break your neck.
Yeah.
So that's if you're good at it.
If you're good at it. If you're bad,
then if you just get turned off a horse or something, then it could be a long time.
It's no fun.
Yeah.
I do like this adds a little bit more character to the cities. We haven't really talked too much about the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, I like these peppering of characters.
Yeah, and they're not main characters. They're just kind of there. We don't need to keep track of them. When they bring them back, great.
I agree.
So she goes in and Dugan drops her off at the Thieves Guild.
Yeah.
Hey, they'll teach you stuff.
So let's take stock where we're at. We've got...
you just want somebody who's Dalamar on the streets, Raceland in the sheets.
So we've got Usha, who is joining the Thieves Guild.
Yep. Well, she got kind of forced to join
it.
Yeah.
So obviously some adventuring might be had there. I don't know. She's the mystery. I don't know where her trajectory is going. You guys have read this.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on with her, but I'm interested to find out. We've got the rest of our main party who is at the portal. Right.
Are they in the portal yet?
They're going to go into the portal.
Okay.
Yep. So that's going to be next time.
Yep. I do like the ending here where they're talking about luring and baiting people in different terms for thieving, and we get another naive Usha. Oh, they must be fishermen. And that ends the book.
I do like her naivete.
Oh yeah,
she's kind of fun.
She's been stuck on an island with
in some ways
with people who don't talk to each other.
In some ways, I'll say Usha's a smart choice because Dragon the Summer Flame was kind of a big push for this book. There's a lot of people who are going to grab this off the shelf, not have read the other trilogies or only been told them about it. This is your kind of the character who knows nothing of the universe, who is your
in.
She's
you
your
can
in.
follow through with her. You can
Yeah.
get the information.
Yeah.
It might be hard, especially on that chapter 4, I think, where it was just a huge chapter. That might
It's
be
a
hard
lot
to
of
read through.
stuff. It's a
but it
lot
could
of
be a way of bringing people back into the universe or into the universe by themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
agree. I think you could almost step on this book. They give you so much history in places that I think
Yeah.
you could step on.
Any listeners out there, if this was your first book, let us know. Tell us what you thought. Who knows?
Well, and I like where we are here at this about halfway through the book. I like where we
Yeah.
are. I like the feeling that I have. I want to know what's going on with Palin at this point because, when we left Palin, he and Tass are standing in front of the open portal.
Right.
The Stargate to the abyss.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm excited for where we're going with this one. I actually think this has been a pretty good read so far.
We haven't had to watch Tennis cry too much.
No, Tennis hasn't really cried.
He gave a lecture on when not to cry.
In fact, my only problem with this book, besides maybe some of the a little bit too much world building, but I kind of needed it too.
Yeah,
so I'm
whatever.
fine with it. But is really kind of the honor-bound thing between Steele and Palin. I like their relationship, though.
Yeah.
It's
not real, but it's nice to have it there.
I'm going to forget about the whole honor-bound thing.
There
and
you
keep
go.
moving on. But that's my only
That's because
gripe.
you have none.
That's perhaps.
I just say screw it and kill him.
Well, yeah.
But so we go through here and we're about halfway. We're all liking where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you guys who haven't done the second half of the book yet. The second half of the book is better.
Oh, whoa. Okay, well then I might have a pretty good review of this book.
Is better. We actually get into some of the battles and stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
I like this omnipresence of the Black Army. And the army of Takesis, and just the
ever looming.
And just imagine this rolling up to your sleepy little coastal village.
Yeah, I like the Knights of Takesis. They're great. They're great to have as that evil presence.
I agree.
You need that. You can't just have the roving dark army. You need the knights that.
Right.
And as we go on here, we find out that I think Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman are doing a little bit of government satire here too, because once these towns get taken over, it's real for the everyday person. Nothing really changes except who you're paying taxes to.
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
Even that doesn't change because they'll just take it from the highest. They just go, here you go, whatever. No, it's
But yeah, they're not just manically running around murdering people and doing everything. No,
They're not murder hobos.
There's a plan. Murder.
That's a D&D. That's a D&D thing. Don't be a murder hobo.
Really murder hobo.
Yes,
You just go
there's a
murder
plan
everybody.
here. We want to see where we're going. Listeners, how are you feeling at about the halfway point here in the book?
Yeah.
What do you think of the introduction of the characters like Usha and bringing back some of these characters too, like Dugan Redhammer and. When we read Second Gen, we all really liked the Reorx as a dude.
I like that Dugan's coming in. I like Dugan right there.
Dugan.
Yeah.
Dugan. So please, by all means, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook. That's usually the best spot as always. Go to that YouTube channel and what is it, Luke?
Subscribe.
Smash
that like
button. All right. So I got another set of hot toddies coming. This is a little bit different vintage. These ones are a little bit stronger. But I am. But these ones I really find it's going to set the tone for the rest of your evening.
Good nightcap.
Good nightcap. Hey, come over here. We're gonna have that last one I
He
ordered.
starts ordering things.
I prefer to go uncapped.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Dungeons & Dweebs. There's even more adventuring to be had at our website, dungeonsanddweebs.com. We would love to hear from you. You can email us at dungeonsanddweebspodcast@gmail.com. You can also find Dungeons & Dweebs on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Find all those links at dungeonsanddweebs.com. If you enjoyed the podcast, please help spread the word by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes. The music for Dungeons & Dweebs is Fatal Fight by Royalty Free Kings and can be found at their website, royaltyfreekings.com. Dungeons & Dweebs is a Tim Gilbert media production, copyright 2017, all rights reserved, and no part of the show can be reproduced, repurposed, or redistributed without the written permission of Tim Gilbert Media.